And we are live.
All right.
And we are live.
All right. What? God dang it.
All right. What? God dang it. We are live many times.
I'm going to get this right one day, guys. What is up, beautiful people? It's Wolf Brother Methos Cushmanata from the channel Frost and Fists.
And I am El Fricalicioso.
Fricalicioso. And welcome to the show, guys. And tonight we've got quite a few things to go over, but our biggest thing is that after we get through the main parts of the show, we're going to go through our Q&A today as our main topic.
I'm excited
which is good
that.
because the news this week is really a lot of the stuff that they've already shown at Warhammer Fest. So the news has kind of really already been covered.
Boring.
I mean, it's really interesting stuff. It's just stuff we already talked about. Making yourself pretty for the camera?
Yes.
All right, Fricalicioso, what kind of hobby progress do you have this week? Nina Chick is here.
Hey, Nina Chick. How are you?
What up?
How you doing? So yeah, got in really heavy, hot and heavy into the hobby. Pretty excited about it because my brother's birthday is coming up. As a matter of fact, July 9th, and I've always been wanting to do something nice for him, and I decided to do something different. So his thing is that he's into cars. He loves cars. He's loved cars since he was a baby, right? And there's a company that I'm trying to remember the name of the company, but basically you can order kits for these full-size vehicles, and one of them happens to be a replica of a 65 Shelby Cobra 427.
I love Shelby.
Gorgeous.
I love Mustangs in general, but I love Shelby.
Well, it's a gorgeous vehicle, beautifully rounded, and so he's actually ordering a kit to actually put that together. And I'm thinking, you know what? It would be really cool if I can just order the model kit, the 1 to 24 ratio, and to actually work on that for his birthday. Now he won't be starting his project until close to July for the real thing. But I figured if I can get it started and have it done before his birthday, I think that'd be a really cool deal. So I am actually I'm assembling. I've already assembled the lower, what do you call it? The lower portion of the frame, all with the rear differential, some of the A-frames, all of the front linkage, all the struts are on. It's really cool. I've already painted it, and I've put a little bit of metallic on it, a little moderate weathering, if you will, or wear, not weathering, and it's looking so much better than I expected. The crazy part about it is that I've never ever assembled or painted a model vehicle. So one of the things that I was struggling with is trying to find out, trying to decide whether I wanted to go enamel or stick with my acrylics, right? I know acrylics. I'm comfortable with acrylics. Now enamel, totally different monster. It lasts longer, it hardens well, and will last forever, right? Gives a nice, and one or two coats will actually give you a very good deep new car shine. But I've been experimenting with my acrylics, and I can get that same exact effect with my acrylic by kind of doing a little mixing. I have to go all mad scientist, and I was able to duplicate that. So that's what I'm gonna do. Like I said, I've already painted the frame, the bottom frame for the vehicle. So this weekend I'm going to work on it some more. But I'm really excited, man, because I'm back hobbying again. I'm working on this, and I'm going to be going back and forth between that and my lieutenant. So I'm kind of really excited about doing, hopefully by the end of this week I might be able to do a showcase on the lieutenant. So because the lieutenant won't take long to paint. So
right. Well, dude, I'm really excited about this project because it's the most excited I've seen you about hobbying and painting and building for a while. I really feel like a non-Warhammer project like this model car is the exact kind of palate cleanser that you needed, my man.
Yeah, it's good to blow the pipes out every now and then, and have a different challenge. That's what it's all about, right? Kind of go up against a new challenge and see how it works out, and just seeing how just what I've done so far, how that's turned out. One of the things that's interesting that the majority of people that actually paint vehicles, or let me just rephrase it, the people who have actually began painting model vehicles prior to going into Warhammer have a totally different style or method of painting than people who started painting miniatures. Because miniatures, we work on the highlighting, the shading. We work on the realism, the OSL, effects. While people that paint these vehicles, I mean, they paint them as if they were painting a real car. So what you see is what you get. There's no highlighting, there's no edge highlighting, there's no pin washing, it is just, as it is, right? And most of the time, those color guides are demonstrated in the actual pamphlet that you get, or the instruction booklet you get, will tells you paint this color here, paint this color here. And, the enamels are, for the most part, they're pretty, they're cut and dry. You can get the metallic enamels, you can get, but that's it. That's all you're going to get. But there's no, there's no actual, I'm trying to find a word. There's no specific skill for that. Okay, but you have to know how to paint, of course. I'm not, throwing shade on those that paint. But my point is that there's a difference between the skill set and the type of skill set.
And then all the model car guys and stuff.
Screw this! So, baby, come back. So anyway, so I'm applying some of those same skills that I have, that I've done on the miniatures, and I'm applying it on the vehicle. Now I'm not going to do it 100% because, again, you still have to have that car look, right? The new car look. I'm not going to be doing edge highlighting on the top or on the on the body. Maybe on the interior, I might be able to do some of that. I've already done some dry brushing for parts like the rear differential. Kind of shows some wear, the normal road wear, which I think turned out pretty amazing. And
I'm just gonna nod like I know what a rear differential is.
But it's really cool to see come together. So I'm excited. I can't wait to actually start assembling the rest of it. And but I think I'm more excited. Like you said, it's got me charged up because I'm also looking forward to painting my my lieutenant or my Imperial Fifth. So pretty stoked. And after I do that, I'm going to be working on the Leviathan and then on the cavalry. So
awesome.
Yep.
I'm really stoked for that. Just to say hi. Of course, Nina Chick says it's good to see y'all. Good to see you too. Running Bear says hi as all. Ex Gear Commander says hello all. Good to see you guys.
Hello.
Brother Atlas at Forge the Wild says good to see y'all.
Atlas.
So we got some awesome people in the chat.
Hurrah. How about you, my man? What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I've been actually up to quite a bit. This was a relatively productive week for me. So I started off by finishing these guys that I showed as mostly done last week. So this is with all their grass and sealed, highlighted, finished the eye lenses and whatnot, did nice. The basing and all that good stuff. So
very cool.
Actually came out better than I expected. Yeah, I struggled with these guys for a while, and then I was just ready to be done with them because, man, that dark Imperial blue, which is a great color, because naturally, if you do a good zenithal, the Imperial blue will definitely range from like a deep purple up to a really bright blue, with good highlights. So it's a wonderful color to work with. Damn, is it hard to clean off a white armor?
Yes, it is.
Because then you try and go back and clean with white paint to get that nice clean line. And the Imperial blue is just so strongly pigmented, it'll show through like 3 or 4 layers of white, and you're like, damn it, what does it take to make you go away? It's like, had to pay it off. Jeez.
Right. I'll give you $50. Just go away. Just disappear.
Al Kirkham, good to see you, sir. And then Running Bear says, "Good, looking good. Grass on the base really helps bring him out." Thank you. I thought so too. There's a lot of really bold color choices here, and I thought, doing the rustic grass and rocks look would kind of provide a good contrast for them. And my next thing is, of course, once I finished that up, I had to move on to another part of the Tau Commission. And so his HQ for the Army is going to be Commander Shadow Sun. And my client asked for the paint job on Shadow Sun to be inspired by Skull Leader from Robotech. So
awesome.
Never seen Skull Leader. I'm a big fan of Robotech. That was an anime that got me into anime back when I was a child. And so I wanted to do a really cool job inspired by that. And this is kind of the work in progress right here.
Nice.
So I've got some of the black and the yellow kind of showing through. The gun in that particular artwork is just one solid color, but in the actual anime show, it's usually black, and then like the barrel at the front and the back are done with a lighter gray color. So I kind of try to keep that in theme there. And then the back in the show, when it switches into jet mode, usually has the same yellow and black markings continuing. So I wanted to replicate that there.
That's very nice, man.
I think it pays a nice homage to the character. What I've done is I've used green stuff to fill in the circle in the middle where there's a recession for the Tau symbol, a recess area for the Tau symbol. And I've used green stuff to fill in a nice round plane symbol, because what I want to do is take one of my skull and crossbone symbols for my Space Wolves and use that as the centerpiece marking for Skull Leader there.
Nice.
So that's my plan. Running Bear loved the show. He loved the Cyclone bikes in the show in season 3. The Cyclone bike seemed really cool. I've always had a soft spot for the Valkyries, because the Veritech jets were my first anime love, so to speak. But I ended up loving all of them. The Ajax with the helicopters, the hover tank was my least favorite one, but it was still cool. And then, of course, the Cyclone bikes. My other big project this week is so I started to do a little work on my Ultras, and man, is it a pain in the ass to go through when you've already glued the stuff together and hit the chest pieces. This is why I normally prefer subassembly, but but I decided, I wanted to try and have it all together for that airbrush, having the airbrush in the right spots and dimension and whatnot. So I took the easy way out, and now it's being a pain in my ass. So that's what you do when you take shortcuts, kids. Darklight Dreamer, hey guys.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
So I did a little bit of that, and then I realized I got up on like Monday or Tuesday, and I realized, wait a minute, there's less than 10 days in the Hobby Hive challenge on Facebook. And, I got a judging, and, I had to make a ruling and everything for me to be able to paint up my Storm Rider. So I decided I need to hurry up and hustle on that. So I just really started back on this yesterday, or no, day before yesterday, but I did do some work. So I did finish converting up, and because those who don't know, this was painted originally in my year 1 of work. It was in the first couple months of me playing the game, and my wife bought this as my first for Christmas, but it was my first thing she bought for me to support my new love for this new hobby. And so this was, it was awesome. I love playing it. I didn't do a great job painting it. It wasn't great at all, but I still, even for the early paint job, I still had a few people in the shop stop by and admire it. People asked me how I did it, how I could get that effect. But my current self didn't like the paint job it had, but that's neither here nor there. What happened is that I moved a couple years ago because we had to do an emergency move during the hurricane, all in one weekend or nothing kind of deal. And so in our emergency move, a box shifted over in the U-Haul, and kind of fell on one of my Warhammer boxes where this was stored all nice and pretty, crushed part of it, and it wasn't playable for a little while.
Man.
Some would argue with the changes in 8th edition, it's still not playable. But anyway, it's even though I know it's not good on the battlefield, I still couldn't let this awesome thing here, this first piece my wife bought me to support my hobby, go to waste. Plus, I just love the model, a chariot pulled by thunderwolves, so I did some converting and stuff. It snapped on the fin where it was tied to a rock here. So underneath where I've got putty and primer right there, that's a clear tube. Since it snapped and the weight wouldn't hold it to the base anymore, I took a clear tube, mounted it to the bottom, and it's a nice wide base, giving a little more grip, a little more stability. The really delicate ropes that had these wolves tied to the chariot, those snapped. Those were really fine pieces of plastic. And so I ended up using some glued together pieces of chain link here to tie to the wolves. So I did some converting, and I did my basing up. I did everything flat basing. Apparently, I didn't know to do texture on my bases early on in my hobby life. So I put some sand and rock down and some dead Thousand Suns. Probably should have put a dead Tau on there somewhere. And I got this baby all primed up.
Aren't you doing commissions for Tau? I mean, the heck?
I have no idea where the rest of your Tau went, Rox.
Right. I think Roxas is just trying to indoctrinate you. I mean, that many Tau, how could you not start, leaning more to the...
Because it's been a pain in the ass. I will never accept a white commission again.
Watch what you say. Watch what you say.
White armor. Mm-hmm. So another thing I did this week was I had a regular Space Marine helm for the head of Logan Grimnar, and that sucker was really glued in there. I think I used plastic glue and melted it in. And so I took the regular Space Marine head out of Logan Grimnar's spot here, and that took a lot of chopping, drilling, and dremeling. So yeah, I straight up murdered the High King and green stuffed the back to make a nice little recess. And then I glued the bottom of his foot, drilled into Storm Rider itself. And so now I can actually take him to the game store. Man, I used to there's a little place you can there was a little tab there you could stick the foot in. And even with that, he used to fall off every game. He'd fall off his sled back in 7th edition. But now he's magnetized in there. He's a little more secure. Obviously, he's still heavy. I can't go too crazy with him. But yeah, I got him all magnetized there. And then also, because it's considered widely considered that he is 1,000% better in the game not on Storm Rider. And sometimes I deep strike him in his Terminator armor along with other things like my Sky Guard or my Terminators and stuff like that. So in case I ever decide to run him that way, I went ahead and magnetized another base too. And I did my little rock build up. I actually left room to run my little river through like I've done on several of my HQs. I don't know why, but just like with my Wolf Lord here, I don't know, I just like doing the water effect like a frozen river there with some of my HQs. So
nice.
Plan on doing that for the High King of Fenris as well. So yeah, I've been kind of busy this week as far as the hobby goes, but I am glad to have so much progress done. I feel like Shadow Sun here I need to do a gloss coat and a gloss wash on her, and then clean it up, and then do some final highlights and the basing. And I feel like Shadow Sun will be ready sometime this weekend. So
yeah, I can't wait to see that.
2 weeks in a row, two units done.
Yeah, you're pumping them out.
Trying. I need to get moving on. Now that I've developed kind of my recipe for doing the white armor, though, it definitely seems like it's going a little more smoothly.
You're going most smoothly.
I have a love-hate with that model. Love the look, hate the rules, and hate how it breaks apart all the time. I'm assuming Storm Rider.
Yep, that's what
Storm Rider. Like I've had my broken experience with it, and in 8th edition, yeah, because it's an HQ that people can shoot at turn 1 because it's got more than 10 wounds, and everybody absolutely hates that because it's like you've got a 300-point HQ on your battlefield that everybody's just going to pour their las cannons in turn 1. If you're used to playing with the Freakaliciousness who brings at least 13 las cannons. Yep. And then he's like, "You've got some scary stuff on your side of the field."
You do.
So yeah, I'm still going to run him because I love running him. But yeah, it is definitely hard to make it useful when it's likely going to blow up turn one.
He definitely. Well, I think he's got his. He's got his plus or minuses, right? His pros and cons, especially when you're running him on a sled versus running him by himself. Running by himself, he can. Yeah, I don't like him a whole lot.
He has shown up on your back line by teleporting in and ruining your day a couple times.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
All right. So, yeah, that's been kind of a full week for me hobby-wise. And I'm actually, I don't know, I've really been enjoying getting in some extra work on the hobby this week. So I really want to continue pushing that through.
You know what? I think we both have been able to push a lot of stuff out. I'm pretty excited about it. I just got through with my my Dreadnought commission, and I kind of hardly want to even call it a commission, even though I'm doing it. I'm going to get paid for it from a friend, but it was a lot of fun to do that. That venerable Dreadnought. And I think it turned out better than I expected, man. And I'm like, oh wow, and I got a lot of good positive reviews from it. So, yeah,
I mean, you did phenomenally on it.
Thank you, man. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. So and you know what's funny? It's like the more I do this, the more I paint. It seems like I'm finding new ways of doing different things. Not status quo kind of stuff. So, pretty excited about it. So we'll see what my Leviathan is going to be. Really something I can't wait to start putting together, man. Painting, that's going to be a lot of fun.
That'll be very cool.
Yeah.
I think I need to stop calling my Tau commission a commission as well, just because it's taking me so long to finish.
Might as well be your army.
I mean, I think it's. I don't think I'm going to accept any money for this, just because I have not done a service in pushing it out in a timely manner. I mean, beginning of the year, we're about halfway through the year. This is too much, I am now just painting this for a friend. This is no longer a commission.
Yeah.
All right, my brother. Well, I think next up we have Art of the Week, right?
Right, we do. We absolutely.
Man, I had a ton of stuff that I just was so inspired looking through Facebook and Instagram this week. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Usually it's a struggle for me to pick out which one do I want to pick.
Yep.
But even more than usual, I just saw a lot of stuff like this has to be my Art of the Week. And this has to be my Art of the Week. And this has to be my Art of the Week.
Yeah, you kind of dumped them all at one time. Oh, here you go. Ta-da!
Have all this.
But I mean, in your defense, I said, dude, why just limit one? You can't, it's okay, send them. I was thinking maybe 3, maybe 4. I got what, 20, 30, 40 of them?
I got one more I'm going to send you real quick.
Oh, God.
It's just one more. But you can roll that beautiful bean footage and then...
All right, so I'll tell you what. While you're doing that, I'll go ahead and start showing my showcase. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Let me find it here. Art of the Elwico. Let me find it her first. Bear with me, please. Yes, we do that here. We'll go here. Okay, so this one we found, of course, this was actually on the Miniatures Paintbrush Legion. And let me switch to it now. There it is. And transition. There you go. All right, guys. This was an amazing coincidence. Brother Rob, who has decided to complete his 57, I believe it's the 57 Ford Victoria. Beautiful, beautiful car. It's a classic upon classics, or among classics. Just a gorgeous car. And he's had this model sitting on the shelf for quite some time, and he's mentioned it several times that he's been wanting to put this together. Well, coincidentally, he also put this together for his brother's birthday. I'm like, what the heck? Really, really cool. And you'll notice, let me do some scroll work. The car looks like a real stinking car. He did phenomenal, gorgeous work. I love it. The white walls. By the way, I'm a sucker for classics. I ride motorcycles. Haven't ridden in a little bit, but my last ride was a 2003 Road King, a Harley Davidson Road King, and I had the white walls. Just I love that classic Harley look, and the white wall, white walls on the tires just does it for me. I love it. Everything from the grill to the emblem to something that I thought was really interesting, and I'll show it. I'll show it to you guys if you can even see what he's in. I still have to ask him how he wound up getting this. So, but again, for me, it's inspiring because I'm in the middle of actually putting or painting and or assembling and painting a classic vehicle, and seeing this is just such an inspiration. Look at that. I mean, the wheel caps, just man, I really love this car. I love what he's done with it. It's very intricate, very clean, beautiful piece of work. And I love the fact that he's got a New York license plate. Interesting. Now, I don't know if those do come with the vehicle kits. Maybe you guys who've done, car kits in the past or still do, maybe you can kind of let us know in the chat or in the comments below. But
I think they unsubbed earlier, so
oh gosh, let me see if we can. Oh man, well, those of you are considering maybe. All right, let's move along. So that's yeah, okay, all right. So yeah, here's another look, and it's so cool because it's just I'm a sucker for the color. I love that baby blue. It just works. That was just a gorgeous car back in the day. And I'm trying to remember which engine they had in it, but it wasn't anything small. The thing can pull a tree stump. Again, it's just beautiful, beautiful car. They became very popular police cars after a time. Even all the way until, gosh, I don't know when the Crown Victoria stopped being the number one prized police cruiser. So, but anyway, it's such a gorgeous car, and I'm really looking forward to making mine look. If I can get it to look as close as good as this, I'll be happy. But yeah. I mean, this is just a beautiful piece here. And let's see. There's another one that I'd like to showcase here.
Sweet.
And this one is actually from our friend. He's a friend of our channel, brother James Meeks. Really great guy. As a matter of fact, I'm really excited because I've been keeping an eye on something he's been working on. And what he's been working on is Bjorn, and I'm super stoked about what he's going to be sending us. So hopefully he'll be done this week, and he'll be able to send us some pics so I can share with you guys next week. So if not, that's not a problem. We'll whenever he's ready, we'll showcase it. But he's a good painter, and I think he deserves some love too. So, all right,
absolutely.
So here is a very interesting one. This was again sent to us by our brother James Meeks from the channel. Let me transition. Bear with me. Let's see here, and let me fix that. There we go. Okay. Now these pictures were sent to him by a girl that actually frequents the game store where he lives, and I love that. I love the fact that it's not just a male hobby.
Yeah.
It's a great hobby for both male and female, and she's done a fantastic job, with oops, wrong way. Sanguineous. Look at this. I mean, look at it. I mean, just really cool work. The
That is awesome.
it is awesome. I love the spear. I mean, that's it's so very Michael the Archangel kind of thing. Look, I love it. I've always said it before. It looks like something from uh, from a mural, a painting. You've seen many of those, in chapels and so on. And something like this just really strikes a chord with me. It's good versus evil. You know, it's such a very cliche, but very, very clear, depiction of exactly that, good versus evil. Um,
I dig it, man.
yeah, and she's done a great work, And look at the basing; she did really good with that. It looks like good stone work. Let me see if, yeah, there it is again. Again, just amazing work. And was kind of hoping that she'd be on in the chat for a little bit, but if she does pop on there a little bit with James, we'll revisit it and give her some kudos. But I didn't catch her name, so hopefully when he gets on there, we'll be able to get that info. But anyway, that's what I have for for that. So again, congrats to this young lady who entered that. And I think it's just exciting to see. So.
Absolutely, we could always use more awesome gamer girls in our hobby.
Absolutely. Okay, so are we ready to visit the 40,568 entries that you have submitted, Methos?
I just sent you that one more, so 69 now.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Yeah.
It's not my fault. I'm inspired by all this stuff.
Okay, let's see. Let me set it up here and make sure. Dang it. Methos. Okay. Stop. Oh my gosh. Okay, now my messenger is not cooperating suddenly.
What I wonder why. It's like somebody crashed it.
Good gosh. Okay. Oh, I see what you did there. All right. All right. So let me just go through the list. I'll go from top to the bottom, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So
I think the top one is one of my all-time favorite idols.
Okay, I need to shrink this a little bit here so I can fit it in frame here.
Get you in the frame.
What?
What?
Okay, I think that might work. Okay, let me pop that on there. All right, so the first one is going to be
that is, and I think that's cutting off at the top a little bit, but that's one of my all-time favorite heroes, Sam Lenz.
Nice. Very, very nice, man.
Sam Lenz has his own Twitch channel. You can find him at the Fantasy Art of Sam Lenz on Facebook. He's got a Twitch stream, which is amazing. Sam Lenz is just like, he's such a good and inspiring personality talking about the hobby, as well as actually like doing amazingly at it. And of course, he's part of the team with Vince Venturella and a whole other slew of amazing painters that actually travel internationally and teach some of these hobby painting classes. So it's pretty awesome.
I mean, that's gorgeous. That looks so
right?
real. Golly.
A hell of a dwarf.
Yeah, I love how he's got a nice little backdrop for it.
Right.
So,
the backdrop looks amazing. That pose, that flesh tone, dude.
Yeah. Man, it looks like something that needs to be on WoW. I'm just saying.
Right.
Oh yeah. Okay. See, this is incredible. I love that he's got on a beautiful, looks like a wooden platform.
Yep. Those wooden plinths like that are often used in painting competitions like Crystal Brush and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I'm learning something.
Very cool, though. Lost in the Necropolis.
There's a backside of it. Very, very nice. Again, okay, so just looking at this and looking at his shield, I can't, I can honestly say I cannot tell that that is not wood. Look at it. It looks like wooden slats to make the shield.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely brought that texture out.
Man, it's just incredible. See what else. All right, here's another side view. Again, just gorgeous, beautiful work. The shade that he put on there is just immaculate. Excellent OSL effect.
And I think that is straight up non-metallic metalwork.
Really? Including the blade?
Yeah, I think that metal's done with non-metallic.
Oh man, that's more of that. Let's see.
All right, guys, my chat breaks from time to time, so let me know in the chat down below if anything has been said in the last 20 minutes, because sometimes my chat just breaks.
No, I think it's been quiet here. I'm seeing the same thing. So
okay, cool.
So we're good. Okay, so this one is Whitwolf Paintery.
What's the name?
Whitwolf.
Oh, there we go. 5-man Grey Hunter Squad repainted.
Yeah, let me fix that. Bear with me. That way people can see it a little better.
So I've never been a huge fan of the original paint scheme of Space Wolves, but this one I think just the person did a really great job, like just making some pop, bringing out the details of the faces, like that guy with the long thing with the white beard there in the on the left. I just think overall it's a great team composition picture.
You know, it's really interesting because as well as I do that. I'll be painting my Space Wolf army the original colors, but of course with my own personal twist, right?
Right, your twist, your take.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I want to keep that same theme. So this is going to be a challenge for me because when I see things like this is a very clean, very, it personifies the Space Wolf Legion very, very clearly, and I need to make sure that I can encapsulate that same theme, that same look, all of that. If I can do that, then I've accomplished my goal. So,
absolutely,
super gorgeous work. Look at that. Okay, now this is definitely badassery on a whole new level.
Moggy's Miniatures.
Jeez. Okay.
And I want to say Moggy is a multiple-time Golden Demon winner.
If he's not, he sure as heck should be.
Just incredible work.
I have no words.
And it's funny because usually when we think of the highlights and shades that go on a night, we think of a very obvious pop, right? But this guy has taken a very, very pale yellow, and I mean almost a beigey kind of yellow, and still you can see that obvious highlight and pop. It's subtle, but it still really sticks out.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a very subtle approach to yellow, because most people are either going to be yellow or orange. This guy,
dark brownish yellow, right?
Yeah, this guy kept the overall theme as a light cream yellow. I love it because man, and you know what I like about it too? It's not yellow, it's not canary yellow. It kind of reminds me more of a vintage color, like a vintage yellow. Like this vehicle has been around for a long time. I mean, a long time. Just man, the metallic effects on the weapons. You just again, man.
Would you say vintage yellow? It kind of like you saying that kind of reminds me of how like things like wallpapers and some cars and stuff like that were painted that pale yellow in like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, that's exactly what it reminds me of. That's such a good era. Again, here's a good shot. Let me see if I can show them there. Great shot of all the different angles there. Um, the top and the back, and just the guy is definitely very, very talented. Yeah, Running Bear says like it's from BioShock colors. That's exactly right. It has that vintage, steampunk 60s, 70s look.
Yeah,
Ah,
I myself went Fallout in my head.
yeah, yes, absolutely. It definitely gives that Fallout classic. Ah, gosh, I love that era, man. You look at that. Just
It's incredible work, and I think this is the new version of that Porphyrion night that we covered in the news a few weeks ago when we
right,
looked at the upcoming night releases.
right.
So it looks like Mr. Golden Demon Moggy here may have gotten to paint one up early.
Super cool. Are those
Unless they're,
plasma? Are those plasma pistols on the side? I
I don't
can't.
know what they are.
They look really
Unless,
cool.
unless that's no, that's definitely not a traditional Porphyrion. Yeah, I think that's the one of the new ones.
Hmm.
So I don't think we even have the stats on what those new weapons are.
I love that filter. So he's got a nice little hue on there. So this is really cool. That's
Ah,
something that I just
Archer
realized.
says conversion beamers.
Oh.
Man, I've been meaning to buy some conversion beamers for my Contemptor just to try it out, see what happens when it snipes from the
Aren't
backfield.
aren't those on the what vehicle is that just came out that has a couple of those on them on the side by the tracks? Gosh, what was that? I need to look that up. They look just like that, by the way. I don't.
No idea.
I'll have to pull it up and see. But what's really cool, and that's something that this vehicle apparently the back of the hatch opens up to expose this missile pods. You know,
Oh, cool.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it just looks like that thing just cracked open and is about to launch a whole salvo of missiles.
Archer says maybe the Mechanicum transport, maybe.
I I think so. I don't remember. It was a very large vehicle, and it definitely had the tracks, and it had the weapons that looked like that on side by the tracks. So
Interesting.
it was. I think it was a tank of some sort. I just don't remember. Oh, it was a beautiful shot of the back. That
Oh yeah, and I like that most of them, the armor plating is mostly up front. If you look at most of the knights and
right.
most of the dreadnoughts and stuff like that, but this has armor plates on the back, and what you can see is that the highlighting still continues,
Yep.
but he's considered something we don't normally have to consider because on other knights and stuff like that, these armor plates don't exist. But he's considered how these armor panels fit up under the bigger armor panel, so there's an obvious shade cast down this whole side.
Yeah. Yeah. So and it's cool because apparently those missile pods those move. So right now he's got it closed.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that is a really neat little mechanic. That is so cool. Gosh, that makes me wonder. All right, Methos, tell me about this one. What am I looking at?
If you go on to the next one real quick, it's got the person's name
Okay,
because I don't think I was familiar with this one. I have no idea what it is either. I just really
Kelvin.
like
Oh, Kelvin Go.
Okay, there we go. So this one I really like. The burgundy-ish armor here. I like if you look real close. There's like a million little. Is there any way that you can scroll up a little bit?
Yeah, let me.
There's like a million little lightning bolts on the sword. And one thing I really struggle with is being able to paint on lightning bolts. And this just looks so clean. And there's contrast in the lightning of the blade there. There's then the dark armor over the lava. It's just there's a lot of things about this that really pop. And it's definitely a very old school sculpt, but man, it's got a hell of a paint job on it.
That is pretty cool, man. Let's see, and let me put this one in frame here.
And this is Vince Venturella, one of the artist kings on the internet in
Yep.
our hobby.
Yep, that is.
And man, this piece definitely shows that he has earned that his status as, one of the most knowledgeable people in our hobby. Just
Yep.
it's incredible.
He's a hobby god. I mean, no way around it, man.
Yeah, him and Sam Lenz both, sure.
Gosh, man.
Man, Vince started a new thing on his channel. By the way, go check out the channel, Vince Venturella. Vince started a new thing on his channel where he interviews other amazing artists. So it's two amazing artists talking to each other, and it was Sam Lenz, the first guy who did the dwarf,
Yeah.
and Vince Venturella just talking for like an hour, solid hobby stuff. It was fantastic.
Nice. Yeah, I look at this and I just want to go flush my paints down the toilet and sell all my models. All right, there, I'm done. Jeez. And man, just oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm but a peon. Jeez.
So just the color transitions on the demonettes themselves, the reflection in the mirror or whatever that is, just incredible.
Man.
Also, it kind of reminds me of Snow White.
Yeah, the carriage. Or no, I know what you're talking about.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Yeah. Oh wow. Did he really paint that on there? Oh, that's
what it looks like to me.
Oh my god.
And also his blends. Look at that transition from pink to purple.
The gem effect on the top down to the okay, so you went from the subject in the middle and how it just looks like water, like a ripple effect going outward. That is
Running Bear says, "Freak, you paint better than you give yourself credit for."
Man, but the crazy part about this, guys, I can try my best at emulating somebody's good work, but this right here, this was done by someone with an incredible imagination and incredible skill. I mean, one day I hope to be like this. I mean, that's what we all strive for, right? We all strive to.
I strive for most of this. I don't. I mean, my stick figure ability. I don't see myself ever getting good at freehanding.
Oh no! I'm with you on the freehanding part, my man. I'm talking about just the painting in general, and just to be creative like this. This is very humbling.
Oh, absolutely. And like we said, I mean, Vince and Sam Lenz are both hobby gods,
right?
But I came across these works of theirs, and I'm like, normally we don't feature, the those at the top of the pyramid. But this week I felt like the work from that was being shared by Moggy, Sam Lenz, Vince. I'm like, all of this needs to be shown this week.
Yeah.
Who took my dice? Steve's in the house. What up, my brother?
Hey, buddy. Welcome to the crazy show. Oh man. So there's another shot of it.
So that's really good looking.
Again, I mean, it's like somebody is trapped behind that mirror, and you just want to help them get out.
Right?
Help the brother
you can
out.
Almost hear it.
Oh yeah, like a haunting whisper.
Yep.
Jeez.
Running Bear says, Don't try to copy someone. You have your own style. Never take away from it.
I appreciate that, man. No, I never try to copy someone's style. If anything, what I'll do is I'll emulate some of it and I'll put my own twist. It's just like music. I mean, you guys have heard so many different songs that sound like a bunch of other different songs, but there's subtle differences, and they become unique based on the artist that is writing them, right? So the music, you might say, hey, that kind of sounds like this other song. There is no such thing as a unique. Well, let me rephrase that. Every song is different for sure and has its own unique flavor, but it is an evolution of music that has been written hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So it's just amazing how, and that's exactly how our hobby is, somebody creates an incredible effect on something, and guess what? Somebody's going to take that and he's just going to duplicate it, put their own twist, or completely evolve the whole thing and make some things completely beautiful and different on its own. That's what we do. That's what artists do. So it's just a pretty cool thing to do. All right, let me see here. Bear with me, gents. Go back to the art of the week and make sure that I have continue this, continue that. Okay. So this next one, Methos just posted, and I thought it was kind of cool. Let me set the stage up. So this artist has just started doing some interesting work. The first time I ever seen these was at our Renfest.
Right.
And basically, I don't know if you guys y'all have Renfest, where you live. Basically, it's a festival, with a medieval theme, which is really really cool. People dress up, they'll go in cosplay, and they'll be in costumes. Some will dress in the full garb. Every year they'll have what's called Walk Down Magnolia, which is a stretch here nearby my house. That's not too far from Renfest, and basically it is all the vendors that will be, or some of the vendors that will actually be in Renfest, and a lot of people will already be dressed in cosplay, and then what to do, that's just another way to promote Renfest for the season. And last year, my wife and I, we took Marley, my German Shepherd. We walked that whole thing, and of course Marley was the star of the show. My gosh, everybody loves Marley. And it was so cool to see all these neat vendors. But anyway, so at Renfest, wow, that was a rabbit trail. At Renfest, they had these really cool things called ear cuffs. And what they are is it's like a type of jewelry that you put over your ears that kind of look like elf ears. So let me show you what this looks like. And I thought this was pretty neat. I was surprised Methos showcased these, but so you can see she's got some really really cool designs with pearl, and if you look really closely, they're kind of it's like wire woven on the inside. It's just really cool how she did
some
it.
spiral patterns.
Yeah. And let me see what else I got. And here's one she's wearing now. And just looks really really amazing.
That looks so cool. And I love that they're in the shape of elven ears.
Yeah, exactly. And it just looks so amazing, And the crazy thing about it is that she is just started. She just started this hobby, and I'm thinking, man, I kind of wish, I told this, I really 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 wish you had this tenacity in painting Warhammer miniatures, So yeah.
Hey, this is only about praising right now. It's only about praising.
It's like so anyway, so that's a really good and by the way, that is Nina Chick. She's in the channel right now, or she's in the chat. She did some gorgeous work, and yeah, it's just crazy stuff. So good job, Nina Chick. That was really cool stuff.
Very cool. Well, I think that actually wraps up our art of the week. And man, with as much as we had going on this week, we had an extended art of the week, and we had quite a bit of stuff to talk about during hobby progress this week. So
yeah.
That's an hour down already.
Yeah. By the way, just a reminder, guys, if you guys on the live chat, start digging up some of your questions that you have for us, because towards the end, when we're talking of our main topic, which is going to be our Q&A, please don't hesitate and start getting ready to type up those questions for us. We'll be trying to answer those as we go. So more than happy to do so. It's a little fun time that we get to just kind of well, we ourselves anyway. This is how we are. We're probably a little worse off camera, but the fact is that this is who we are. Of course, I'm rested up. I'm not dragging. Oh, last week was terrible, wasn't it?
This week
Oh,
I'm a whole week off my meds.
whoa, that's no bueno. Yeah, we got to get those delivered to you fast. So, but yeah,
real quick, we're still kind of talking art and hobby and all that good stuff. I do want to ask a quick question. If anybody has any experience, I just got in this really cool looking set of paints from Hakata, thanks to Asset Drop. A light green blue, a medium green blue, and a dark green blue. I've never heard of the brand Hakata before, but if you guys have worked with this product before, tried these paints at all, I'd love to know what your guys' experience have been. And being that it's a lesser known brand, if you guys would like me to kind of do a little review, see what I think of this particular brand of paint. I've just never heard of it before, so really interested.
I'd love to see.
And if you guys have an experience, I'd definitely like to hear about it.
I'd love to see you do either a spoon spray or a backdrop spray or something. Just kind of showing the difference on all three.
Cool.
It'd be really neat to see that. If you don't have a model, just kind of use some kind of cardboard or something. That'd be really cool.
Something.
Man. Yeah.
I could definitely dig something.
Yeah. Spray the dog. Psh, come here. All right. This is what it's gonna look like. Psh, poor commander. Puppy.
Tiffany's like, Methos, who did Commander's nails?
Nothing.
That was the girls. They love manicures. Exactly. I'm like, I gotta go.
Right. I have a meeting. It's 9:00 at night. Yeah, emergency. Bye.
All right. Kind of a art of the week adjacent. One of the things I want to bring up now.
Who's Jason?
Is it's not exactly an artwork, but it's kind of in the same vein of talking about those who contribute. The people in our community. People in our community sharing their hobby with us. Well, I don't know why that was so hard to spit out. Speaking of people sharing hobby stuff in the community, Steve from Who Took My Dice said those are cool, and Running Bear says nice jewelry, Nina. She says thank you so much to those. Good hobby stuff. But so in that same vein of people sharing their hobby stuff with us, again, I don't know why that was so hard for me to get out. See, now we're starting to get onto the whole I haven't taken on my meds. Anyways, Running Bear has sent us his list and how his tournament went. So I'm really interested to hear about that. So let's see. The list he took was a Supreme Command attachment with Allegiance to Khorne, Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage and the Armor of Scorn, a Demon Prince of Chaos with the Demonic Axe, Wings, Warlord, Skull Reaver, a Skull Master, and then he has a battalion, Alliance Nurgle. I remember we talked about how this was going to be like a almost like a Chaos Undivided kind of deal because he had several things going on here.
Right.
And an Epidemius, I'm probably saying that wrong. I apologize. A Poxbringer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squads of Nurglings and Plague Bearers with there are 25 Plague Bearers in one group.
Oh, jeez.
That's going to be a big old mess to deal with. Another battalion of World Eaters. And with that, a Dark Apostle, Karn the Betrayer. Karn's such a beast in battle, man. I know you haven't had to face him. We had a Khorne player here in the area I had to play against once, and man, Karn will just tear some shit up. With a few squads of Berserkers, 1, 2, and 3. And man, you put some Berserkers and Karn together, and man, they both threw some things.
Yeah.
Some Obliterators, they crank out some major damage. And some Chaos Rhinos with Combi Bolters. Cool.
That's a heck of a list.
All right, so he said the first case was versus a very young Space Wolf player at his first tournament. So he took it easy on him and helped him with the rules and how to play. It only got 2 turns in, and he won 15-6.
Wow, I love
I'll be
that. I love that. Look, I'm just going to say this right now, guys, and I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt Methos, but I'll tell you what
You're good.
that's what got me into the game. Okay, you understand? When you're going to these games, and yeah, this was a tournament, right? But you gave running back, you gave this guy hope, which was absolutely amazing. There's no doubt in my mind that you could have smoked him. All right, no doubt. You could have sent him packing, gone home, found a corner somewhere to suck his thumb, but you didn't. You know, and it always reminds me of when Mythos, you know, gave he played me on a my first intro game, and you know he was easy on me. He didn't try to overpower me. He didn't try to showboat. He didn't try to do anything, but he let me get a good taste of the win. Just that little bit is like crack, because you always go back for more, right? Which was I think was really great, and it kind of showed me the kind of person that Mythos is, and again shows me the kind of person that you are, Running Bear, to be able to kind of do that kind of thing, because it means a lot when we're trying to get the community involved into the game, not going there and smash them with a hammer, and then walk off, ah ha ha, I'm better than you, ha, gun show, and then storm off into the sunset. No douchebaggery here, right? So again, my hat's off to you, sir.
My first tournament, I lasted like 20 seconds. The judge went game start, and I was dead.
Yeah, what were you playing though? What were you playing against? I'm sorry.
I was playing against Eldar.
Eldar, right?
Yep, it was like 800 points or something like that, and it was just pretty much an HQ and Reaper spam is what it was. And yeah, so I just had these, and it was 7th edition, so you had the bouncing, flipping templates, and so even though I was in cover, he was able to hit over here and bounce templates behind cover where I was, and it's just annihilated me first turn. Crazy. But yeah, that was really awesome, Running Bear. Second was versus a Imperial Knight player with 2 Vindicar assassins and an Eversor assassin. Ooh. That's the kind of not knights, but that's kind of what I plan on doing with my Ultramarines until I build them up in points. It's that's just hardcore. Supplementing in a couple of assassins. I'm sure Preak will love that.
Yeah, I love it. Shut up. How do you do that? I'm curious. I want to hear you say it again.
And in addition to the assassins, he had 4 knights, 2 ranged and 2 close up. He lost 22-21.
Oh, it's close.
He got 4 rounds in, and it was epic, even though I failed to get the first charges off.
Who do you play against?
Huh?
Who do you play against?
He was playing against the knights. He was using his chaos list against these Imperial Knights.
Wow.
And he failed to get the first charges with the Bloodthirster and the Demon Prince, and failed to get 2 charges. The dice hated me on this turn. On his turn 2, the Bloodthirster was down to 4 HP, and we both did not get a kill until turn 2 and 3 for me. Turn 3 was night and day. The Bloodthirster made a charge and took a close combat knight down to 8 HP. His prince killed a shooting knight on his turn, and then he charged me, and I killed both of his CC knights with my prince as he charged them both into my prince. I lived with 2 wounds, killed the first one, paid the CP to attack twice, killed the other. He had killed my Bloodthirster with his main shooting knight and killed all but 1 Berserker with it. Wow, that does sound like an epic fight.
That does sound like it. That's
pieces of the army coming apart at the seams there. In the end, I had the Epidemius at the Herald, Karn the Betrayer with 1 wound left and 2 units of Nurglings and 12 Plague Bearers left.
Dang,
man, so he was whittled down.
Gosh.
The other guy had his Vindicares and the main knight with just 3 wounds left. Wow,
That, you know what
that's
though,
pretty
the
empty.
fact that he held off against those assassins, Mythos, not just the knights, the freaking assassins. Holy crap! See, that's what I'm talking about. Running Bear has can put a list together to crush just about anybody, and he went up against one of the toughest lists there. Holy crap!
It's a real strategic player too.
Yeah, yeah, most def. Dang,
Third
man.
game was against another demon player. Used a net list of plague bearers, a bunch of Zinch characters, and a blob of horrors and bloodletters.
Hmm.
I lost 12-11. Uh, Slow game on his turn. I took his turn one took an hour and 15 minutes. So some people, I don't know if you're aware of this, Freak. Some people intentionally slow play if they're ahead, and by drawing out the clock, it makes if you're already ahead, then it kind of is favorable on you when it comes down to the end of the game.
That's horse crap.
Just like I'm sure you've heard of in like basketball, the team that's up,
We're out the
I
top,
just have
man.
to hold on to the ball for the next 2 minutes or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, that kind of thing.
yeah. That's such a hit on a technicality. That's just not even. That's not even it.
No, absolutely. If the game was able to be finished, I had him since I took down most of his smite casters.
Nice.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that people, going all meta like that. Well, I'm sorry you got cheated, my man, but it sounds like you had some pretty epic matches there. That night game, especially,
Yeah.
and then the last one, 12-11. I mean, so super close.
Yeah, I think had you the proper or the appropriate opportunity, I think you would have smoked him.
Smote him like a dog. All right,
Good
so that
stuff.
you know what? After being cheated, I think we could all use some encouragement. What do you think?
I agree. I think Running Bear did a fantastic job. He's a man's man. Not only that, he's shown perfect proper decorum with fellow players. You know, but I think the fact that I think he got robbed a little bit, and I feel personally that I can use a word of encouragement. Mythos, I know you've had a heck of a day today. Yeah.
Yeah, my day has been something else.
Yeah, so I think we all could use a little word of encouragement, just something straight from the emperor's mouth, or rather, this oracle, right? The very mouthpiece of the emperor. I don't know if you guys think in the chat if you guys feel like you need a special word of encouragement, but I know we do. So I guess without further ado, Mythos, are you prepared to receive the word of encouragement of the week?
I could always use the good word, my man.
All right, man. Well, let's see what happens.
Going into the battle, and he knows how to shut the details, join the main squeeze, join the wind scream, the wind will be screamer. Just listen to the words of Chaplain Emo.
Love me some Chaplain emo. That was just a great intro. It just makes me happy just seeing that.
It's already lifted my spirits.
Yeah. So
All right, well, Chaplain Emo, we could use some encouragement. I'd like to hear what great word you have today for us.
yeah, help us with our daily walk, because it's been a rough week.
A chaplain is good for emotional and even spiritual encouragement.
Always start your day with a smile. That way, you get it over with.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, just go ahead and get it over with. I mean, at least you got one out of the way, right? Anyways, do we have any news this week, Freak?
yeah. Um, Yeah. I think we do. I think we must. I think I need to find it now. Um, let's see what we have for the news of the week. We got a little bit of something really interesting that has come out now. Like Methos said earlier in the opening of the show, that I'm sorry, I'm just reading the comments. Exgear Commander says that made my minute. I'm glad you found encouragement from Chaplain Emo. Oh, we need to share that again with a atomic scale model freak just popped in. He has, hey, did I miss Chaplain Emo? Yes, you did, and just for you, my man. Mythos, do you mind?
Go ahead, man.
All right, we're gonna do that again, just for you guys that just recently missed them.
When you're going into battle and you don't know how to feel, just count on Chaplain Emo and his joy will make you squeal. So when the world takes you down, you want to scream, just listen to the words of Chaplain Emo.
See that intro, guys? Brian, that just kind of cheers you up because it makes you feel warm and fuzzy. Typically this is the point where we ask Chaplain Emo to kind of give us that encouragement, right? So what do you say, Chaplain? Mythos had a rough week this week. Today it was kind of rough, and mine, I can always use a little pep. And I know Running Bear, we kind of feel like he got robbed on that tournament. And Brian probably could use a little extra pick me up as well. So what you say, Chaplain? You got a good word from the good word from the God Emperor there.
Always start your day with a smile. That way, you get it over with.
Yeah. That's fantastic advice, Chaplain. I'm not sure if I want to smile now. There you go, Brian. That was just for you. Jeez.
There's a tough part of your day. Some people say to start your day with the toughest part of your day. So, yeah, most of the news this week, guys, as we alluded to earlier, is stuff that we've already covered with Warhammer Fest.
He wants his minute back. Sorry, man. Nope, no refunds.
Good night, Steve, my man.
Good night, buddy. Come in. Once you commit, you commit. That's it. You commit it. You can't get away from that. Oh. Oh my gosh. All right. So anyway, we were talking about the news, right?
Yep, the news.
Right. So something really interesting. There's, like Methos said in the very beginning, that a lot of the news that's still current is stuff that's been covered already from last week's news. With of course the paints, the new vehicles that have come out, especially the transport for the Mechanicum, all those little things. And it's really cool stuff. So nothing really new to report, but something that just came out and again came into my email. I thought it was really cool. Was Games Workshop's brand new website that just came out. I don't know if you've seen this, but they've just put out a new website. It's called, let me see if I've got it here. Hang on. CitadelColors.com, and it's spelled COLOURS, or I don't know if the S is there or not. No, it's R. COLOUR.com. And I just gotta show you what
Just like the new contrast paints.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, the whole the whole point of the website is strictly for hobbying. They've got some lot of really cool tips and tricks on how to hobby in general. How to thin your paint. Well, you know what? Let me just show it to you guys. And I thought this was a really interesting thing because again, they're gearing this more for the beginner painter or beginner hobbyer, which is a really cool idea. I think this is great because it's going to help reel them in and it gives them support. This is a great support tool. I think this would have been great when I first started painting, So, I mean, yeah, you don't get me wrong. We've got YouTube out there. We got a lot of people, but this is straight from GW, and they give you great tips on this. So let me share this with you. Bear with moi. All right, so here it is. Right, here it is. And so this is the website. It's citadelcolor.com. And again, they're showcasing, of course, the contrast paint. Really neat stuff. Of course, you can sign up for their for their newsletter. You can stay up to date. They'll send you emails. But this is the thing that I like the most: the painting basics. Learn the basics of brush care, setting up your area, thinning your paints, and more. So if you click on any of these, what it will do, it will actually produce a video. And it's so cool. It's an instructional video. I'm like, how cool is that? You get an opportunity to be able to, learn, and it's from their own, professional painters. It's like so really neat.
I agree.
Yeah. Even covers thinning your paints, which, I think there's some people that still can use that kind of instruction, that kind of deal. Also, how to use a palette, and choosing your colors. That's one of the biggest things. Of course, when you're about to start on your first project and painting your army, you need to find the color of your army or the color of your model that you want to, and you want to stay consistent too. The last thing you want is having totally different
tones across the same army.
Yeah, exactly.
It still bothers him every time he looks at the first couple months of models he painted. He's like, that yellow is just too bright. I'm like, it's fine. Nope, it doesn't look like the rest of my army. I'm like, it's fine. And I look at mine and I'm like, man, that black and silver looks so basic. He's like, it's fine.
Right? I mean, we're constantly threatening to dunk our models, right? Oh, y'all going for a swim really soon, So, choosing your colors, your painting area, making sure that your area is clean, and again, these are really cool little instructional videos that they put out there. Really cool idea. And then protecting your models, how to coat them to keep them from getting chipped. And it goes even further. They've got techniques. This is so cool. How to undercoat, or basically, properly undercoat with spray, undercoating by hand, using contrast, base coating, shading, the whole nine works. Now, I believe this is done actually with the contrast paints. So you'll see this particular technique is because I saw a couple of these videos. This is showcasing, of course, the new contrasting paints, which I thought was really interesting. Anyway, I think it looks great. Really cool work.
I think so too.
Yep.
Seems like it's going to be a really good tool, especially for those getting started or who feel like they could use some improvement.
Yeah. Brian from Atomic Scale of Model Freak asked the question, do the slots in the cup help with brush cleaning? Curious.
I've been thinking about getting some to try out for that reason, because there's texture at the bottom of that cup, and it seems like it'd be helpful for cleaning your brushes.
I think so too. I think more so for setting your brush just temporarily while it's sitting to get soaked. But yeah, I do believe it does help with the cleaning. So yeah, there you go. Thomas from Hellchild. Hellworks by Hellchild says yes, they do. So there you go. There's your answer, my man. So yep, really good stuff. And here you got. They even cover. This is cool. They even teach you how to do special effects. Give your model striking special effects, oozing slime, textured bases, realistic rust, and more. So it shows you how to do verdigris, blood, slime, rust,
Slime in the ice cream machine.
and if you haven't had slime in the ice cream machine, you haven't lived. Battlefield mud, cracked ground. I think that's actually a really good tutorial, especially for those who are doing Martian soil kind of stuff. Really neat.
Yep, they also have for regular mud, like the Agrellan Earth products and stuff like that.
Right. How to do snow effects and gems. Really, really cool. Brother James Meeks is in the chat, all about the money, brother. Well, yeah, maybe, but I tell you what, it definitely is a big help. Oh, by the way, Brother James, we did showcase your friend's
Sanguinius.
Sanguinius. Could you share what her name is? You can just share her first name. We don't need her full name, just so we can make sure we give her credit. We'd like to definitely do that. So if you can kind of share that with us in the chat, that would be amazing. Also, they cover a lot of advanced technique as well, Methos. They do varnishes, glazing. I actually watched the glazing one, which was really cool. Glazing's not something that I typically do because since I do a lot of airbrush work, but I thought it would be good to kind of learn because I hear so many people talk about it, but I haven't really seen the technique, and I've actually learned something, and this is something that I can do on my own. So really, really cool. Alyssa, good deal. Thank you, James. I appreciate that, man. So yeah, a big shout out to Alyssa. Great job on that Sanguinius that James had passed on to us. Beautiful, beautiful work.
Really beautiful work. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's something Methos and I had said before you came on onto the show here, James. It's really good to see females, especially this young lady who gets excited about doing the hobby, man. It's a really cool thing to have, because it's an encouragement to other females. It's not just a guy hobby, And you see a lot of guys actually doing, these model cars and all that stuff. But it's really good to see a diverse array of people actually doing this hobby, which is really, really super cool. So, this is the most I've seen. Methos, this is the most that I've actually seen folks talk about Chaplain Emo here in the live chat than I've seen in a while.
It's good to see Brother Thomas in the chat, and James, man, I know you are on your work break, so it's good to see you too as well. Sacrificing his work break to spend some time with us. That's awesome.
So Brian from Atomic Dog Scale Model Freak says, "Hey James, no need to see Chaplain Emo. Save your minute." Yeah, Chaplain Emo is not a happy dude. I don't know. I think that's the happiest we'll ever see from him. I think he's probably elated right now at this point.
I mean, you probably got to catch him in the morning before he gets it over with.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's your spirit animal must be Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, says Brian from Atomic Scale Dog Freak. Right? Nobody loves me. I'm really depressed. Yeah, pretty much, right? I'm about to say.
Eeyore was always one of my favorites.
Yeah, I know, me too. This might as well happen. And he's sitting in a puddle of water where it's raining on him and only on him or something like that. Poor guy. Anyway, all right. So going back to the really cool website, they even do the instructionals on Medium. Kind of show you how to actually work with certain mediums, masking, Transfers. Now, transfers is one of the things that I find that can be really challenging, especially if you're not sure what you're doing, especially on the most curved of models, like on shoulder pads. What a pain and a patootie, especially rounded ones. Because I do a lot of my Imperial Fists, and I had stopped for a long time doing the decals because they just would not. I had to actually put a slit on the darn thing just so they can, that circle will, adhere to it. But I learned a little trick, and I found that breaking it down, breaking the actual decal down with an acid helps. And you can use things like vinegar, apple cider, or any kind of other vinegar. That acid will actually help break down and soften the decal enough to where it becomes pliable, kind of like a contact lens. Really cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the Tester's decal solution, which I'm pretty convinced is just vinegar.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's exactly right. But it works, and that's how I found out that so they're using an acid to break it down, which is great. Good stuff. Now, here's one that I'm probably going to be reviewing a lot. It's faces. Gosh, I struggle with faces so much. But they show you how to do the faces.
That's one reason. That's like the number one contrast paint I can't wait to use.
Right. I mean, it's like, all right, I'm just gonna pour the bottle and it'll be an instant face. Yay! That's what I'm hoping.
Is that not how it's supposed to work? You sound sarcastic there.
No. I'm serious. I'm looking forward to it.
Thomas says the Vallejo decal stuff works pretty well. I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, absolutely. Transfers are the devil, Bobby Boucher. Yes, they
are. I'm hearing it in her voice right now. Transfers are the devil, Bobby Boucher.
They're not the devil. And I've seen her movies and I like them too.
Sorry.
Why are you so good at that?
Shut up, man. All right. So anyway, there you go, guys. So go check out this really cool website. It's very, very handy. Again, and I think they'll probably continue to add more stuff on there. They also teach you on the difference in the paint types, right? The contrast paints, the base paints. Of course, this is all Citadel stuff, but still really cool. The shade paints, the dry paints, the layer paints, the technical metallics, and even their sprays. So, right? Sponsored, not sponsored. So
I never know what I'm getting with you.
So there you go, guys. That is the GW news of the week that we have. Like I said, not a whole lot going on out there. Mainly that they put out this really cool new website. I think it's pretty neat. I think
the website does look cool.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's geared to the new, to the new or to the beginner in mind. I think that's a cool idea. I think
the beginner, and of course people who have been in it for a while, but they're still looking for ways to improve.
Exactly. Learn things like glazing. I never knew anything about glazing.
I mean, there's a whole section there for advanced techniques. So
yep.
I thought it was pretty cool to see that.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's not just for the noob. So anyway, so that is the GW news. Do you have? I don't know if you have anything else that popped in your mind there, Methos.
No, I took a look at the news right before we popped on, and that was the only thing that really seemed new. Everything else was pretty much in the Warhammer Fest coverage.
Yep, and that's typical, right? I mean, pretty much after Warhammer Fest, everything just kind of slows down a little bit. Everybody's kind of like, all right, we can all breathe. Nothing new. So go back home, citizens, kind of thing. I don't know.
But still give us your money.
Right, exactly. Your money. Give me your money. I want your wallet. So, and we gladly give it to them. Just saying. So.
Oh, absolutely. No. I'm an addict.
As am I, my man. As am I. Just I'm just gonna say this. I'm kind of Brian, I would hold off, man. Look, I'm not. No, don't get me wrong. Okay, I think that cup is amazing, but you might be able to find somebody to actually print a cup like that for you if they have a 3D printer. I'm just saying, just throwing it
I
out
mean,
there.
it's only like $7 at the store, so
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
it's not a huge investment if you're
Right.
curious to try it.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
I think that's right there. That right there is like one of the dynamics of our relationship. It's not like, dude, it's just like $5. I'm just gonna go get one. He's like, I bet you I could print that. I'm like, that's good. Sometimes he'll be like, I think I can print that, or he may end up say something like, I bet you I could substitute such and such from the dollar store. I'm like, dude, it's already like $4.
I know. And it's funny. I make fun of my brother because he does that kind of crap. He reinvents the wheel all the damn time. Every time. Like, wait, it's already one invented. Why are you redoing it? I know, but this was cool. How is that cool? It's the same thing. It's the same freaking thing. Oh. So, then anyway. Yeah. So, I love my brother. He's just an engineer. Anyway. No shade to all you engineers out there.
Whoever watches this show watches me like the one episode he watches,
Right?
The next time you throw that engineer stuff in his face, like actually,
Oh no, he knows what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. So. All right. So I guess how's it? We do our main topic, Methos, or we do the Elstination fun fact?
I'm sorry, what?
Which
I just saw what Atomic Dog Scale Model Freak said. like Ferris says about being tight, you stick a lump of coal up Freak's arse, well, you know the rest. It used to be, but now that Freak and I have been together for anyway.
Hey, I'm a baller on a budget, baby. Man.
Now that Freak and I have been together for a few years, it's loosened up some.
Just a bit, just a little bit. It ain't diamond anymore. It's got other stuff on it, so just saying. Oh my god, I think I'm gonna get an asthma attack.
And demonetized. Restricted for sexual content.
Oh man. Yeah, our buddies from the NSA, they're like, there they go again, John. Look.
Wow. Oh, we just got a few unsubs there. Brother Thomas says, God made mechanics. The gods made mechanics because even engineers need heroes.
Right, exactly. It's funny because my brother and I, we are the embodiment of that, right? I've always been in the technical field. I've always been the guys to turn the wrenches, right? To turn what engineers have designed and to actually make it work, But it's funny because for years, I've worked in the field and I've had an engineer fly to my area. Okay, well, it really shouldn't be working like that. It should be working like this. And I'm telling him, okay, I know what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. And I see your little drawing and how it's supposed to work theoretically, but this is how I was able to get it work because the way you say it's supposed to work, it doesn't work. So, and they hate being told that. They refuse to believe that it works any other way outside of the realm of what it was or how it was created. Mind blown. It's the differences between an engineer and a tech. So, just throwing it out there. That was free, guys. Try the veal. I'll be healed all day. So anyway. So, where were we? I think we lost all the engineers too.
So Atomic Dog Scale Model Freak says Freak must use 2 or 3 squares to wipe. And Running Bear says,
have you seen the size of my ass?
13-year-old and all of us takes over this channel. Yeah.
Hey, these are guys after my own heart, man. You know. But no, man. But look, y'all seen the size of my rear end. Trust me, man. I don't use 1 or 2 or 3. Nah. I'm gonna leave it right there because Methos doesn't like poop jokes. So.
Anyways,
right. Yep. So, and besides, we got other kids present. So, anyway. So, yeah, TMI. Yep. Sorry. All right, let's move on because it will get incredibly uncomfortable here in a minute because Methos will stop talking to me.
Methos has left chat.
Yep, again. Oh God! Somebody go get him, please. He refuses to come back on. Oh, okay. All right, I'll leave.
All right, so this so far, working at some of my blend real quick. Check this out. I'm not sure how that's going to translate into sliding, but
Ooh.
I decided I usually do a blue or purple effect on my power weapons, but I wanted to represent Logan Grimnar's kind of lava-esque, orange red hot axe.
Very nice.
That's really a demon axe, but that's been purified by the wolf priest.
Very nice. So how soon before I start facing that guy?
Logan Grimnar? Well, you faced him before, but it's been a year or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as I can get this guy painted up, I would love to make our next battle to try and get all 13 of my Thunderwolves and then Logan Grimnar and just put them out on the battlefield.
Might as well just line my guys up. That way you can just,
Yeah, go ahead and pack him in tightly.
yeah, just say, there you go. It's not a firing squad because you're basically going to go right up and punch each one in the face. Well, yeah, it's fine. Whatever. Just make sure you got a fast ride, So, speaking of Logan, I've actually have my own Logan. I ordered one. So, but it'll be a while before I actually put them together and paint them. Oh, man. I think my diffuser died. Oh, no, it's still going. I usually have my diffuser going so it can help me with my you just want to make yeah, see, these guys are pressing buttons right now. Yeah, I'll have an asthma attack before I do that there, Thomas. Anyway. So, what do you want to do first, Methos? Do you want to go to the Elsta Nation fun fact, the 100% true fun fact, or do you want to hit the Q&A since we're here?
It's we can save the 100% true Elsta Nation fact later on in the show.
All right. Yeah, they're pushing buttons. All right, guys, we're at that part right now on the show where we kind of turn it over to you guys. This is the first time we've actually done this live, so it's a great opportunity for you guys to, if you got any questions for us about our hobbies, about us in general, by all means, you can go ahead and put them out there in the chat. Methos has a couple as well that he's going to read off to us, and we'll both
we put this on Instagram, the Facebooks, and Instagram, Facebook, and then we even put it out in a couple of our other chats.
Right. So anyway, guys, you got a good question or any question at all, just go ahead and post it on the live chat. We will do what we can to answer it the best we can, providing that we can answer it.
Question number 1 is from Lily Nightfall. And she says, what made you guys decide to do a Q&A? And being that our previous Q&As were recorded, what made us decide to do it live?
Well, do you want me to answer that and then you want to chime on, or you want to answer first there?
Go right ahead, my brother.
Well, that's actually a good question. I think we'll get the best of both worlds here because this will actually be archived and become an actual an actual video archived in the YouTubes, right? But we also get the opportunity to do a live chat session, so people who are on a live chat will get first dibs of asking us questions as well. So this is kind of really cool. It's like they're first to the show, and they get the opportunity to kind of get a little more understanding of our messed up nature. While the folks after the fact, they can still, ask us questions, and we'll be able to, still respond. I don't know. I think we also have the combination of the ones who've already asked the questions and submitted those to Methos by way of Facebook and so Instagram and all that. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, Methos?
No, you're right. It's definitely a best of both worlds kind of deal. And we've done a few Q&As before. Even I was getting so many questions at one point. We were having trouble making time to record Q&As, so I started filming them on Wolf Brother Wednesdays. And I think we started doing these Q&As because we were inspired by some of the really great Q&A channels out there, like Mini Warzone Pete had a really good running Q&A, which, I mean, it's still a really good running one. It's no longer weekly, but it's more monthly. But
right,
Pete's definitely one of the kings of Q&As.
Yeah, definitely.
The Nerd Life and Edict Beer, they all have Q&A kind of sessions on their channel.
Yeah.
And we were just inspired by them, and we were like, you know what? What if anybody wants to know anything about us? Let's do a little talking.
Awesome, man. Methos, if you don't mind, if you want to read the ones that they sent you, and I can read the ones that are coming up from the live chat, that way we have a kind of a back and forth. Will that work?
Cool.
Sweet.
Sounds good to me, my brother. Well, I will alternate.
Yeah.
I'll do from pre-asked, and then you do one from live.
All right. Sounds good, my man. All right. So is it my turn?
Yep.
Okay. Running beard. Right, that would be cool. A running beard.
Running beard.
Running beard. Or running beer. I can use a running beer right now. All right. Running
and I said I would have beer tonight too.
Yeah, right. You did say that. Whatever happened to that? Decided against it?
Fridge away.
Oh,
if you could see me get up and leave this chair.
There'll be two-fisting, huh? All right. Running Bear says, I'm sorry. Let me go back up here. Where is it? Okay, he says, Running Bear says, when will we see the Freak and Methos team up as Space Wolf players and take on some Chaos and Tau players? Methos, I'll let you answer that one.
Well, Methos has a rule, so... The serious answer is that it's probably going to be some time before Freak gets his Space Wolves painted up, because he's while he's feeling the Space Wolf vibe right now, he's also been recently really inspired with his fists. So he's got some work he's going to be doing on that, and so it'll probably be a little bit, as we say in Greenspoint, it'll probably be about a minute before he gets his Space Wolf painted up. And then we have some challenges, of course, trying to set up, multiplayer games, because we don't really visit the store very frequently anymore. And so it's usually a lot of texting each other back and forth and trying to set up time with the guys to have a game. So, I mean, there's a lot of factors involved, but we want to make it happen as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I've actually talked to Methos about something like this. Originally, it was more on... the Imperial Fist teaming up with the Space Wolves, which was it was more meta, because that's they've always done that. They've always teamed up together and fought. But I think that's a great idea, having two Space Wolf teams, team up together and fight against, I'd say against the Tau. Or Chaos in general. I think that would be a great match, man. I think that would be amazing. That'd be a lot of fun. So, good question, man.
It's always fun until a Tau gets involved.
Right. Dang Tau. All right.
But and I'm bringing a Riptide Wing.
Take care, James. James is heading out, man.
Good night, James, my brother. Did you have anything you wanted to add on to that answer, Freak? I know I answered kind of for your part.
Oh
But...
no, you're good, man, and I think that we'll be seeing a lot. So no, I totally agree. I think I'm looking forward to it. I would like to do that, but like you said, I definitely want to work on my Space Wolf. And it won't be long. I'm going to be alternating. I'm not gonna be exclusive on one thing or any other. So it kind of helps my motivation on the whole hobby thing. So anyway.
Yeah, we've seen with this recent palette cleanser that Freak definitely works better with a little variety in the spice of his life.
Indeed.
All right, next one I have here is a video game question from Darklight Dreamer. He says it's a multi-part question, so I'm going to ask and give you the chance to answer, and then I'll put down my answer, and then I'll move on to the next part. But
all right.
First, what are some of your favorite video games of all time, and what do you love about them?
Wow, that's a great question. So lately, I have been in the whole survival mode video games. I don't know why. I think maybe because I'm getting old, but there's something about post-apocalyptic, survival games or wilderness games where it's just you and the elements, and you need to figure a way to make it right. I first started playing a survival game called Rust. I loved it, man. I absolutely loved it. The only thing I didn't care much for was the fact that because there's so many people out there, they don't make it about survival. They make it about just finding and ganking you the moment you spawn onto the world. So it's no fun anymore. So, but I like I like small where co-ops. Like there's one game I'm playing, and you and I started playing it, Raft. Absolutely love that, because it's you're working together for a common goal, and it's to survive. You have to be able to eat, drink, keep yourself hydrated, fed, ward off a stupid shark that keeps eating up your raft, and little things like that. You have to fish, you have to do all this, and you got the elements. It's just an amazing game. Things like that. I just bought another game. It's still early access. It's called The Isle. I just downloaded right before we got onto the stream, and basically you start off by either being a dinosaur, a human, and I forgot something else. Anyway, and so you start off as a young dinosaur or child or what have you, and it's survival of the fittest. Can you survive the AI or other dinosaur players? It's pretty cutthroat. So I'm really looking forward to stuff like that too. So aside from that, I like MMOs, but the only problem is that my time is very limited. I really did enjoy games like World of Warcraft, the original, the classic, and that really got me into the beautiful game of Final Fantasy 14. I love 14. Absolutely love 14. But again, it's the amount of time that I'm able to devote to it, so it just didn't justify the subscription. Now, every now and then, I may just go back and just dip my toe in the water, but I have a hard time really fully committing until I can say, okay, I'm going to devote X amount of time to play the game. So anyway, that was a long answer to a short question.
No, I mean, you answered both some of your favorites, and you answered. Now, you mentioned what's been interesting you lately. Mm-hmm. If you had to go back and pick a top 3 Freaks all-time favorites, going back to, your heyday of gaming.
Oh, wow.
What would you say?
Wow. Plug in my phone. Hang on. I'd have to say heyday would definitely be... Oh, geez. It's going to date me, isn't it? Well, World of Warcraft, I was playing since vanilla. I'd played since vanilla, and I stopped playing around after, I stopped playing after the, Lich King. I came back very briefly during Pandaria, but I left and I never returned, so it got kind of goofy. There is a talk that World of Warhammer, World of Warcraft Classic, the vanilla, nothing but like the original, is actually returning sometime in August. So,
Oh yeah, one of my brothers just got into the beta for that.
yep. And I'm really looking forward to that. I would highly, highly, highly consider jumping in on that and, starting one from scratch, and then jumping on there. So, aside from that, that's an MMO. I did a lot of really cool first-person shooters, and not shooters, but more of the kind of like the Thief games, like Thief. I don't know if you ever played any of the Thief series, but that's a really good game.
Speaking of gaming, Brian says, "Oh boy, you and Methos working together. I'd like to witness that." Hey, let's go this way. No, this way. Are we there yet?
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, it's funny. We're on this raft, right? When we're playing the raft game, we're on the same raft. All right, Methos, I need wood. Oh, wow, that. Let me just rephrase that. That kind of came out. Methos, okay, there's no way of actually saying that the right way. Methos, we need planks, okay, for the raft. And Methos going around the entire. We got nets to collect, all the debris that's floating by the raft, right? And it'll collect in these nets. And he's just there collecting. What? And I need to. And he's out there fishing. Methos, when he gets focused, he hyper focuses on that thing, and it's like, okay, fishing. I'm gonna fish until my fishing pole breaks. Methos, I need to fix what the stupid shark just tore up. Okay. So yeah, but no, actually we did really well. We actually built our raft, and we got to get back playing that soon.
Also, with my ADD, if I see something and I focus on it, I kind of sometimes not look at the consequences. So it's just like, okay, floating barrels have some of the best resources in the game, or as far as stuff that's just randomly floating by you. And sometimes there'll be like 3 or 4 that we're just too far away. We can't reach with our hooks or whatever. So my natural reaction is to just, I'll be right back.
No, he doesn't do that. He doesn't even do that. He doesn't even do that. I'm like, so Methos, man, this is pretty cool. We're getting a lot of stuff. Methos? And I hear him go,
I'll be back in just a minute. Hold on, I'm on my way.
I'm on my way. I'm like, what do you mean on your way? And I'm looking all over the raft for him. He's nowhere to be found. The sail is still down. So, I mean, this thing's pushing through. There's a wake that you can see, a light wake behind the raft because, the wind's strong. And I see Methos slowly becoming a dot. Like, what the heck? You went overboard? You should have told me something. So I'm raising the sail, trying to
I think if we ever made a video on this, like if we ever started an alternate like gaming channel or something,
yeah,
I think these videos would have to be something like 2 guys with ADD play raft.
What the F is going on?
What's going on?
So most of the time, man, I'm freaking out. I'm like, dude, and the worst part about it, guys, is there is a great white out there in the middle of the water chomping on his ass. I'm like, why are you out there? Methos, there's a freaking shark. I know now. So I'm trying to paddle to where he is to save his life. Like, dude, just let me know when you're gonna jump, because I'll stop the freaking thing from moving. It's like, but it's hilarious. I don't even notice he's overboard until he's like, I'm on my way. I'm on my way back. What? Did you fall off? Oh, God.
I wouldn't say fell off.
No, that was I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. Oh God! But hey, he's determined. He's gonna get those barrels, whether he's shark food or
I never
not.
jumped for just one barrel, to be fair.
It's true. Right?
All right, some non-question things.
Hmm. There's a lot of questions.
Get this book, paper sack tea crossword. Let's see. Tom Dog Scale, or no, Hellchild says cusses softly about Riptide BS. I know. I hate the fact that they're cheap enough that they're back as Riptide Wings again.
Yeah.
Ugh. Stupid chapter approved. And then also talking about gaming, Running Bear says, want a good shooting survival game? Try 7 Days to Die.
I've heard that was really good. Yeah, that's actually on my list.
Let's see. Myself, I have really enjoyed a lot of different kinds of shooters games. In fact, it used to be like religiously when I worked at GameStop, the group would just get together every single Saturday night after the store closed, and we would just go to the store manager's house, and we would just play Halo, big team battles, 8 or 16 men teams, and just PvP all night.
Nice.
Like all night. Sometimes sober, mostly not. It was all about Halo at the time. And then of course I moved out of that phase and onto a Call of Duty phase, and I was all about that. And then I moved out of the Call of Duty phase and went into Overwatch because it seemed new and innovative for a shooter. And man, I really enjoyed that. And eventually, though, of course, when I was really good at Call of Duty or Halo, I had a lot of time to play. Yeah, you understand. And especially since, as a gamer, sometimes I got paid for playing. A GameStop manager, sometimes I got paid for playing. And it was cool because I would help run events and stuff like that. And I played a lot. See, with my Overwatch, of course, this is my experience as a corporate manager, and of course, my time is a lot more limited these days. So there was a spot, and I'm not able to put time into video games as much as I used to. Plus, I paint and I do YouTube and stuff now, and of course, the kids are older now, so there's a lot of things where I'm trying to spread my time across. So I can't just devote to shooters. Well, shooters have a very high skill cap, and people will continue getting good without you, right? So the community eventually just moved past where the skill set that my limited time would allot me. So eventually I love Overwatch for the play style and ability and the animation. I love the characters. I love everything about the game. But damn, I can't play it anymore. I cannot play it. I get on there and I'm dead more than I'm alive nowadays.
Me too. So, I can't do it anymore.
So I was good when it first came out. For about the first year, man, I won a lot of matches. And then the community just kept getting better, and I did not. So I have, and of course I was getting too competitive feeling about it. I would get mad about it and stuff. And so I decided, as much as I love the game, thematically, atmospherically, visually, as much as I love the game, I decided for my own benefit, I better not play for a while.
It stops being fun when you're getting, headshotted by a 3-year-old.
Yeah. And so definitely shooters are definitely some of my favorites, but honestly, I love good stories. So RPGs are mostly where my jam is. And well, no, RPGs are where my jams used to be. And that's another thing where I'm just limited by time now. But my favorite games of all time are things like the Final Fantasy games, Dragon Age, and so if you put them on, I would say my top 4 series of all time are Final Fantasy games, Mass Effect games, Dragon Age games, and the Knights of the Old Republic games.
Oh, yeah.
Not the MMO Old Republic, the old school RPGs, Knights of the Old Republic.
They've got a great story background. That's what I love about those, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The story's so good. And then of course you're building and I love games where you can customize yourself. So building up your hero as I think those are yeah, absolutely. And that's what I really love. And seeing yourself progress in this fantasy world, become something amazing, I think is That's all part of it for me. And that's I think that customization, that progression, the story, that's what I love about those games. My favorites of all time are definitely the original Dragon Age Origins. It's hard to pick a favorite in the Mass Effect trilogy, but somewhere in there, maybe two. Trilogy. Yeah, just trilogy. Mass Effect trilogy, and then of course Final Fantasy VII definitely was my favorite Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy Tactics. So to list some specific ones. For X-Gear Commander, it was Assassin's Creed. Methos the Screen Destroyer. Wog. I haven't destroyed any screens yet, but I've definitely broken a couple controllers. My favorite game of all time will date me, Master of Orion 2. And so Atomic Dark Scale Model Freak had to one up that and say Q-Bert.
Yep.
I remember I had an old school Atari and Commodore 64 back in the day, so I know all about the Q-Bert.
I didn't know that. I had no idea you had a 64. That's exactly what I cut my teeth on.
Yep, the Commodore 64.
Yep. I had the modem. I had the floppy drive. I had everything, man. We were actually, my brother and I actually started writing in BASIC.
Wow.
Yeah, well, we liked the adventure games, and so we started writing them for each other. So if guys, if you remember the adventure games
about load times nowadays, let them go back and play.
Right. Big old 5.5-inch floppies.
I mean, we joke about it nowadays, but with Commodore 64, you could literally load your disc, go fix a whole lunch, eat it, wash the dishes, come back and play.
Yep, absolutely.
X-Gear Commander has been putting in a lot of hours on Apex. I like that. Okay, actually, the game itself seems pretty fun when you do get to play. Yep. I don't have the patience for battle royale games because it's like you load for 5 minutes, you search for a weapon for 5 minutes, and then you die. Or I die.
No, I'm the same way. I spend more time dead than I am alive.
I spent 10 minutes waiting to play, and then I died right away. What the heck? And so then you're back in the waiting area again, and then you're on the bus, and then you spend 5 minutes deploying. And it's just there's so much time of preparing to play versus actually playing. Yeah. I don't have the patience for battle royale games.
Yeah.
Robert Espinoza has joined us. Welcome, my man.
Welcome, man. Thanks for coming, bud.
Bo Jackson was Superman. Temco Bowl was the beginning of Rage for me. Yes, the old school football games. Could not tackle that dude and could not defend any slant passes. Speaking of which, I've talked about my favorite games of all time. Something I'm really enjoying now. Also customization and fills that shooter itch for me. I'm playing the Division 2 right now. Oh man, so good. I'm really loving it because you get to customize your own secret agent and you get to shoot a lot of, bad guys and stuff like that. And it's just really cool, really well done. And you can choose to make it multiplayer, but you are not forced into multiplayer.
That's cool.
So
I like that.
I really enjoy it.
I like the fact that they give you options. I don't like to be forced into multiplayer.
Exactly. I feel the same way.
Yep.
Original XCOM was awesome as well, says Running Bear. When another one I've been playing a bit lately, and this is a little bit of a guilty pleasure for me. I do this about, every couple of years I got to pick one up. But Darklight Dreamers recently got me back into watching wrestling, and I'm enjoying it a lot. And I picked up the newest wrestling game, and I always got to make myself one of the heroes and go through the story mode and all that stuff. So that has definitely been a guilty pleasure for me lately.
Okay. This one that Brian Brian Atomic Scale Model Freak says, did any of you get headaches playing Doom? Killed me after an hour. Yes. Not only would I get headaches, but I would get so motion sickness that and I didn't know what it was, but it was that game. And just to prove that, my son-in-law came by because I have the VR, and there's a game that has the very same this very same outline or world, I guess, as the old Doom, the original Doom, and he wanted to play it. It's a shooter. Of course, it's under a different name or whatever. It's not Doom, but it's everything's almost identical. So he started running in the world with it in a VR. And about half an hour later, he was about to retch. It was bad. There was no way I was going to jump in there. Nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
Yeah, it always did that for me. And then the old school Doom, I think my ADD did not have patience for it. All the running through the same areas of the map with a different key color. I know they were making efficient use of the same space so they wouldn't have to build out more map, but yeah, oh man, that just would burn up my patience so much.
I liked it. It frustrated me. Yeah, I liked it because it was a good puzzle, but the thing is, I would get sick before I even finish.
Speaking of Doom, Running Bear says he spent so many hours playing Doom, Wolfenstein, and Quake.
Yep, I remember that. That's all part of the same genre. Yep.
I have no idea. It sounded like a cat. Maybe some of those from outside. Forge the Wild says Dragon's Dogma, so good. I've heard it's a really good game, and I've seen that on PlayStation Access or Outside Xbox, one of the two. But yeah, so definitely those are some of the games that we've enjoyed throughout our lives. His second part of the question said, are there any games coming that you're excited or would like to see? Games coming, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yep.
So pumped that. The remake to Final Fantasy VII looks so good.
Yep.
Scroll back and we are Brian, we are going to answer some of the other questions. What we're doing is we have ones that were submitted on Facebook and Instagram. We're just taking turns. He's going to ask one of the live questions, and I'm going to ask one from this list here.
Yep,
this one happens to be right here in front of me.
Question. Yep. So.
But yeah, so one's coming, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm so pumped for. That was my favorite game of all time for so many years, and is definitely still one of my favorite three. Just, I mean, all the characters, I think I attribute a lot of my love for long black trench coats to Sephiroth. So, yeah, it's fantastic. But that is one I'm looking forward to. Freak, any games coming up that you're looking forward to?
Definitely World of Warcraft, the classic. I'm going to look at that again.
Sweet.
My son-in-law and Nina chick. I think we're going to create brand new characters. Of course, you'll have to. And see, before I used to go as a healer when I played WoW originally. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm actually going to try my hand at tanking. Because my son-in-law is a big healer, so I'm like, you know what? Why don't you go heal, and I'll try my luck at tanking. So we'll see how it works out. No doubt Nina's going to go rogue. No doubt she's going to go rogue. That's her thing. So, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's really exciting. I can't wait. If it's as classic as it was, I'm yeah. Okay. Yeah, rogue. Yep. So, but yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that.
Let's see. Robert Espinoza says Quake.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's asking about it or if that was one of his favorites. X Gear Commander says he recently bought Titanfall 2. Great game. I freaking love that game. And then Atlas says Borderlands gave him a headache, or maybe that was just Claptrap. It can't be Claptrap. I loved Claptrap. Oh, he's so great.
Did you ever finish Borderlands 2?
Me? No.
I mean, either.
Everybody I started it with, we just ended up not being able to meet up schedules and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't as exciting to go back and play by myself, but I need to force myself to finish it before the next one comes out.
Well, you need to let me know when we can actually fire up the 3 again and team up. Anyway, that's something else from a different time.
Oh, I don't even have the 3 anymore. It's in the girls' room. I mean, I have it, but I would have to play from the girls' room.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we're ready for the next question? Or was that David's question? No, he had
next question.
All right, this one is from Atlas from Forge the Wild. His question is: any battle reports coming up? Ooh, that's a good question.
Kind of similar to the last question. Man, there's a lot of battle reports we want to do.
Yeah.
Getting the time for us to be able to get in a game. And admittedly, I think the two of us have been pretty awful. The last couple games, well, we recorded the coffee table one, but the last two games before that, we're just like, we've got limited time. Let's hurry up and get to playing.
Yeah.
And so we were just like more about the game than recording battle reports. But we definitely want to try and seek up some time to get in the game sometime soon.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, you know what would be fun to do? Methos, something I'm just thinking about. Maybe even do a live battle report, just a live game.
Where we can talk to the crowd and fit in the game at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Fit in where you can fit in.
Yeah, why not? They can criticize all my dumb moves. So Grumpy.
Morning, Grumpy. Next one from the list here. Who took my dice? Steve says, what is your process for choosing and building your armies and lists? He's got a second question, but the first one.
Repeat the question.
What is your process for choosing your armies and building your lists?
Okay. I'm just gonna tell you the process of choosing my army is just aesthetics. I just like the way it looks.
Have a great night, Running Bear.
Take care, buddy. Yeah, I liked Imperial Fist. I like the way they look, and I like that they were a challenge to paint. They still kind of are. Yellow's not a very forgiving paint or hue, if you will, to color. So with that, I kind of gravitated towards them. Again, I love the way they look. It's not my favorite color. Blue and more purple is kind of my favorite color, but it's just that yellow, black, and a yellow and a red. Just for some reason, just kind of stick out. They definitely don't look like any of the other Space Marines out there. So I kind of like that army. As far as my list, I guess it just depends on what I think Methos is bringing to the table, because I never know. I try not to know, and we try not to share with each other until we actually come to the table with our lists. So I have to kind of guesstimate, knowing his play style, knowing what he's going to try to do. It's really cool because I have to actually get in his head, and 9 out of 10 times we'll wind up setting up a list very similar to one another's. Crazy. But yeah, that's how I come up with it.
In our last coffee table battle report, usually his guesses are pretty close, but I threw him off when I chose to bring Wolfen over Cavalry. Yep. He knew I was working with a limited number of points, and I couldn't bring both of them because the Knight took up most of the points.
Yeah.
And so when I brought the Wolfen instead of the Cavalry, that really threw him off.
Yep.
My process is somewhat similar. I mean, a lot of it is just honestly rule of cool. What do I feel like bringing? Some of it is performance, like what kind of things do I want to accomplish on the field tonight. For instance, like with the Sky Guard, I was like, I specifically want to find some juicy target to drop all these meltas on his back line. But while that's part of the process, honestly, my lists are honestly largely determined by what have I painted recently. So, a Borderlands 2 gaming group from X-Gear Commander. That would be so cool.
I would do that. I would definitely fire up my PS3 for that, man.
But yeah, so a lot of it is really determined by what have I painted recently. Because sometimes whether it's good or not, or whether it has a place in the battlefield or not, I'm like, I want to find a reason to bring this because I painted it. And we all know how the new painted model syndrome goes. If you're really excited because there's something you recently painted up, you can almost guarantee it's going to be one of the first casualties in the game.
Yep, that happened to my Knight. Hated it. Best painted sucker out there. I'm like, yeah, I'm so proud to paint. Oh, what? He's dead. How? What? The Wolf Priest? No, the Wolfen. I hate you. Yeah. All right. That's kind of how it went.
It went. What killed him? The Wolfen. I hate that Wolf Priest. I was like, what? But yeah, so it's kind of a combination of both. What am I trying to do with my army, and what have I painted recently? And of course, just honestly, we've all got old favorites, right? I'm pretty sure you guys in the chat will agree. There are just certain units in your army you almost never want to go without, right? So my cavalry are almost always that unit for me. Like, I know they're overcosted for what they do. I know that technically everything you can do with the cavalry, you can do better with the Wolfen. I understand that. But having giant war wolves, with soldiers mounted on them, riding across battle to punch some guy with a gun in the face, that's the whole reason I picked this army, guys. That is definitely is, and of course, the units thing is also about play style. There's some things that I know are really good, like the scout spam tactic. Is really good in the game right now. But I just want to take whatever I like, what units I like, what fits my play style. So a combination of those three things. All right, and then he says his follow-up question to that says, small question, boxer or briefs?
That's a really good question. I alternate. It just depends. I'll go a long time with just briefs, and then others I'll just do boxers. I guess it just depends. Just depends how it all hangs. Sorry.
Sometimes, like this stream, I just wear nothing at all. It's just a shirt, guys. Nothing from the waist down. Kidding, of course. Kidding. No, I'm a boxers guy for sure. I definitely can't stand the feeling of, the random chub in the middle of the day, and then it's got nowhere to go if you got on briefs or whatnot, and it's just pinned there, and you're like, you guys know. But anyway, yeah, I'm a boxer.
What just happened?
I was answering the question.
Okay. No, you didn't quite answer the question. You elaborated, and
I definitely did that.
Thomas Kill Model Freak says, "Oh, good grief."
No, good briefs.
Brief. No, it's not briefs. Boxers, right?
Brian says, I just don't like the feeling of butt skin on the vinyl chair. Good grief.
You see what you did? You see what you started?
I answered the question.
No, you didn't just answer the question. You went and you started something. This has gone nuclear now. God, sticky. Especially a vinyl chair. That ain't fun.
Quality content here, guys.
Absolutely. We're the most professional you ever find. Oh my God.
I agree. It's definitely a sticky feeling. Vinyl on the skin.
Nita Chick says, this is why I'm here. Probably because it makes her feel better about herself, yeah.
That's the end of the questions from Who Took My Dice, my brother.
Okay.
Pleather, you. Oh, man, you are so right, Thomas.
All right.
Next chat question, Freak.
I do. So the next one is by X Gear Commander. When do we get the chance to play a group game again? So I imagine it's probably back at the game store. If I'm reading that correctly.
Or I mean, if we do another one of those hosted parties.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. We can probably try to put something like that together.
I missed the last one because I had just come from, or I was either going out of town for work or had just come back from out of town.
I think you just come back from out of town.
Yeah.
And you had a much deserved wife aggro for sure. So But we can definitely plan something like that down the line. In the near future. I know our buddy Steve from our group channel or group chat. He wants to get in the game. I'm sure Atlas would be more than happy to jump in on that, and maybe we can get X to come and join us, and you come on. I think it'll be a lot of fun, man. We get a nice group game going, so we'll have to try to see if we can put that together. So that's a good question.
But have to be careful because it might be a big challenge. X, go give it to you. Go give it to you.
So, but yeah, that's something we will definitely consider, man. Of course, along with the rest of the stuff that we're constantly dealing with, man.
Brian's still. You get up and hear the skin sound like saran wrap.
That's so
That
messed
is
up.
really an uncomfortable feeling.
It's so messed up, man. What's worse is when you get up and you didn't realize that the chair is still stuck to you. You don't realize it until you actually hits the door frame.
God.
What was that? What the hell was that?
Then you have a problem, friend.
That must have been sitting on there for quite a while.
All right, the next pre-written question is from Craig McHugh at the Warforge. Says, what film are you most looking forward to this year? You got any upcoming films you're looking forward to, my brother?
Oh, not really, man. Honestly, I have not been to the movies in years. And I have no interest. I used to love going to the movies when I was younger. Now I just don't like being around crowds. I don't like being around people. And now with this younger generation, man, that when you go to these theaters now, they are making comments. They won't shut up. They're answering their phones. They're texting. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just keep my old ass home and then just, I'll Netflix something, binge watch, whatever.
Was there anything you're excited to come to Netflix or DVD?
I don't know. Actually, let me think here. Let me put some thought into that.
Okay.
Honestly,
Personally,
yeah, you answer that, and I'll give you a thought after.
Okay. For me, I'm definitely looking forward to Spider-Man. Was it Far From Home or something like that coming out this year? And I'm also really looking forward to the new Godzilla movie coming out this year. And then X-Men: The Dark Phoenix. Because the last Dark Phoenix saga was so bad, but the Fox Spider-Man back in the 90s, or Fox Spider-Man, Fox X-Men, the animated version back in the 90s, did a really great job with Dark Phoenix. And then the fact that Sansa Stark is going to be playing Jean Grey, I'm really looking forward to that.
Awesome, man.
And unfortunately, she's a lovely young lady, but she's definitely, I think, fallen into the typecasting trap for me, where no matter what role she ever plays in life now, she's still going to be Sansa Stark whenever I talk about her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are the movies I'm looking forward to.
Nice. I definitely would like to see the John Wick series. I have not seen. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack from the guys. I love the Jason Bourne series. Those were my ultimate favorite action movies. I loved the Jason Bourne series, and the closest I imagine would come to that would be the John Wick series, because I really like Keanu Reeves when it comes to stuff like that. Constantine, that kind of stuff. But I mean, this is not quite the same. But I do like his action movies. So
I need to see that.
What's that?
I need to see those as well.
Yeah. So I'm if I had a choice of movies that I would want to really put on my list to actually want to watch, it would definitely be the John Wick series, especially 3. Looks like 3 is going to be amazing.
Sweet.
Our Lord and Savior Keanu. Getting a check.
Oh, I hadn't heard of that. The Witcher is making a Netflix series, and I got to say, Netflix series are really good. They really do a great job when they put together a series.
I want to see that too.
I didn't know. I really need to play the games too, or at least 3. I've had Witcher 3 for a year now, and I haven't even touched it yet because I have so many games in queue.
I'm wondering if I've heard about this where the author of the books may actually have a role in giving them some feedback. So that would be really cool if that's the case.
That's awesome. Nina says Endgame. Thomas says John Wick 3. Tom Dog Scale Model Freak says Stranger Things 3. On that same vein, it's not quite films, but I'm looking forward to the next season of Attack on Titan coming out this month, and the next season of My Hero Academia coming out next month.
Nice.
Awesome.
It comes out later this year.
Oh, later this year. I thought it was next month. Anyways, neither here nor there. Cool. Okay. That is awesome. Next one from the live, my brother.
This one's actually really interesting, and I think we can make this one work, Methos. We need to talk offline one day and really think about this one. This one's from Atomic Dog Skill Model Freak. Brian says, "When will we see your D&D sessions on YouTube?"
Well, that we need to consult our other members, of course.
Sure.
Because I know we have a new GM. I don't know how they would feel about being filmed, or if they're confident about having, their work being displayed in front of everyone. Of course, the other members of the session, so we want to make sure we respect everyone's privacy and whether or not they want to be filmed. But I mean, being that we are doing it all online anyways, it wouldn't be really that difficult of a feat to make it videoed.
Yep.
So it is possible, but we're just going to consider everyone's feelings.
I totally agree. That's just something that we can talk offline, and definitely something to consider. It would be fun. It would be neat, to actually record a live session and see all the crazy chaos and goofiness that we go through. Again, we enjoy it.
Kind of thing for a tabletop gaming channel.
Yeah, man. I think that would be a lot of fun. So something to think about. That's a good question, man. Really cool idea.
And while we're on that same thought process, one of the things that we've been talking about how we want to do this D&D recap thing until we decide, if we ever do decide to go live. But the way we're thinking about doing it now is what we've talked about is because I have a thing where I'm writing out what has happened in the story, kind of story in a narrative way, as if I'm writing this for like a book or a written role play session or whatever. I'm writing it out kind of story like, and so what Freak and I talked about is doing one or both. One of the things we talked about is doing a reading of the story version, like a dramatic reading, and then at the end having us talking about how the game went and how we felt about it and what we were thinking about at the time, that kind of stuff. So you would get the action stuff, and then you would get the two guys hanging out kind of feeling.
Right.
Or the other thing was, of course, just picking one or the other. Doing a couple of chaps talking about how their D&D session went, or just focusing on the story of it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool idea.
So those are the 3 kinds of ideas Freak and I have tossed out. You guys let us know down in the comments below what you guys would prefer to see. Next written question we have here is Kevin Porter says, if a train leaves Birmingham at 7:45 a.m. and travels at the speed of a swallow, how many bananas are... I've cut off part of the question. How many bananas are... Yeah. Gosh, terrible.
Sorry. I stopped at... Yeah, I stopped at the first word. I knew there's... Nope, I don't do those. Nope. It's Friday night. I already finished work. My brain shut down already.
You're like, there are There's
No,
math here.
there's math there. No, my brain is like, what is this? What is this foreign wizardry? It's math. Quit. Close the blinds. Close the blinds. Pretend they're not there.
It's just a silly moment. He says, if it travels at the speed of a swallow, how many bananas are triangle? So I am going to rely on, the
And Ethan.
the age-old answer of, but what kind of swallow? Is it an African swallow?
I love Monty Python.
All right. Next one live, my brother.
Okay. Ethan says the answer to that question is explosions.
Ethan, my brother, good to see you and your explosions.
Gosh. All right. The next one is by Hellworks by Hellchild. Thomas asks, will there be a monthly thing? Will this be a monthly thing or bi-monthly? And I think he's asking about the Q&A.
Well, we're kind of just trying it out tonight.
Yeah, it's just...
We got no plans.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to burn it out. I don't know. I mean, I don't think we want to burn it out. I mean, because it gets to the point where people just start
Running
like
out of questions.
running out of questions,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh gosh, what should I ask? Do you like soup? What? Yeah.
Yes, I like.
Okay. Oh, and that's what it turns out. They just start asking these. We're like, do you drink water? Well, yeah, we all drink. We all drink water. Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, and it can be frustrating, for trying to find questions. It's frustrating for people like, man, I've already asked everything, and it can also be frustrating to, when you get to that point, like, man, I've got like a question and a half this week, so I don't want to. The only person I've seen really successfully do that is, man, the fact that Pete made it over 200 episodes and kept it going strong. He's probably the most successful I've seen do a continuous Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
Nick's had his going for a long time, and I think the fact that his are less frequent than most channels do it, I think that has been really helpful for his lasting such a long time too. So I think that's kind of the route we're going, is trying to keep it infrequent, keep it a once in a while kind of deal. And then that way there's more to ask. More news has come out by then. More pop culture things have happened. Just in general, there are more things to ask, I think, if we wait.
Sure, man. Definitely.
So that's one of those. And I think this happens more often than not, where my answer and your answer kind of mirror each other.
Yeah.
Next one on the pre-written. This is going to be rapid fire, freak.
All right,
Will
okay.
New contrast paints.
What's that?
Will you be using the new contrast paints?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some we want to give a go. I think both of us are looking forward to the flesh.
Yep, absolutely.
There's definitely some interesting things I think I want to work with too, like how different paints and stuff will look over Zenithal.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that.
Right. I don't think it'll substitute what I'm doing. I'm not even gonna do that. I kind of saw some of the demos that GW did on their stuff, and that's great. It looks okay. Not my style. Now,
it's so far from what your style is.
Yeah.
And that's why I said when it first came out is that this looks great, but for someone who does more hand brushing like myself, it might be more useful. But someone who has a dedicated, largely airbrush style, that it probably, will not be a very minimal part of your toolkit.
Right. So again, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? So I'm looking forward to the flesh tones. I'm curious to see how those work out. One of the hardest things for me to do are the faces, right? And it's getting that right flesh tone with the right amount of shading into the sockets, the recesses of the eyes and the mouth, and the cheekbones and all that. So that's always been a challenge for me. So I'm just curious to try it out, and if it seems to work out, hey, I'm gonna jump on it in a heartbeat.
Favorite unit in your faction?
Ooh. Favorite unit? I'd have to say my aggressors.
Your aggressors.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure anyone in the chat can answer mine, but I'm not going to wait. Not going to have the awkward pause, but for me, definitely my Thunderwolf Cavalry.
Cavalry. Yep. Yep.
Next rapid fire is a favorite unit in the 40K universe, so even outside of your own army.
Favorite unit, 40K universe. Yeah, it's just it, man. Thinking outside the box. That's not something that I've done beyond my. I'd say the Knights.
Knights are pretty cool. Do you have a particular version or loadout that you like the best?
Honestly, I really don't. I like them all because they're diverse.
They are pretty diverse.
Yeah, between the Knight Errant and the Paladin, I like both. So.
I think visually the Knights are definitely an answer. Gosh, why have I not prepared for this question? I think one of my I think outside of my faction, I'm going to go with a Forge World kit that I fell in love the moment I saw it. And I'm going to mention the Sicarian. Is just that profile of tank is just very cool looking, and that's very, I don't know, it's one of the things I think of when I think of, the 40K universe. It's just that look.
Yeah.
Who out of us is the most creative?
You for sure. I say that because you do you do a really good. I've seen your trash terrain, and I've seen some of your basing. I actually emulate a lot of your basing for my stuff. So I'd say when it comes to the creative and that part, I think because you're using raw materials to like your brick basing. I mean, come on, that is amazing, Manny.
Thank you very much.
Thomas says Lily is. Yeah, no argument there, brother. She could kill us both. So yes.
Why am I killing people?
Wait, what?
One of the questions was, who out of us is the most creative? One person said Lily is. I think when we're talking story stuff and stuff like that too, I think like I had a lore for my army first. I think I had background story for my D&D character first. So I'm not trying to brag, but I would think that's probably a good assessment. Maybe I'm slightly more creative. Just slightly. Who between us is the funniest?
It just depends. It depends on the day, dude.
That's tough. I think both of our wives suffer from the same problem, is that they're both married to two gentlemen who believe themselves to be funny. So.
And then the term "gentleman" being used loosely, yeah. So, I don't think that you would call us funny. Maybe annoying, maybe. So it just depends on the day.
Good night, Atlas, my brother. And then the last thing in the rapid fire question is least favorite thing in 40K at the moment. Tao.
Wow, I didn't.
I know.
Wow, that just.
My rapid fire questions are so hard to figure out.
The least favorite thing or unit?
It's just the least favorite thing in 40K at the moment.
Least favorite thing in 40K? The stupid Alpha Strike. I just don't like that anymore. That's it. I mean, aside from that, that's nothing else I don't like.
You don't like being Alpha Striked, or you don't like that they've changed up the ability to teleport in and form an Alpha Strike?
I don't like the fact that they make you wait till the second turn in order to be able to bring in your troops.
Okay, gotcha. All right, that is all the rapid fire questions, and that's from Richard Morgan from Capitan Morgan's War Games.
Very, very good. Do you want to catch up on the chat?
Yep. So Atlas just checked out. Said, "Good night to everyone," and he said, "Great show," which is awesome.
Thank you. Very much.
To the question of who's funnier, Thomas immediately says "Freak."
Just depends on the day.
Grumpy, who had to go to work, said, "Got to go to work. Have fun. May the force be in you."
Ooh, I don't know how to take that. What is the force doing in me?
Well, the force is what happens to be what I've renamed my pipe.
Oh my god! You're fired. You get out.
God. We can't edit this. This cannot be edited, Methos. This is live. Okay? Okay, guys. See, this is the kind of crap that I was telling you about, right? You know, typically when we're on a show like this, we behave, we good, we do good, we do good, we be good. But something happens when there's a disconnect, not realizing that we're on live, and this happens, and then you get this. You get this. We break YouTube. We do this.
Anyways.
Oh, God, why? People already talk. What? And you heard Lily in the background. I mean, yeah, that's every day.
So,
Dude, how are you gonna come back from that?
I think aside from the questions that are being asked in the chat, I think we've caught up on the chat.
Oh, thank God.
I have a week off my med, guys. I think I've mentioned that.
Oh man, I don't know how to come off of that.
So the next live chat question, Freakaliciousness.
Okay. The next one, and this is actually another good question from Brian from the Atomic Dog Scale Model Freak. He says, "Hey Freak, do you eat the marshmallows while eating the oats in the Lucky Charms, or save the marshmallows till that's all that's left?" I actually save the marshmallows till that's all that's left. I mean, I don't eat that cereal anymore because I have to stay from sugar. But if ever I do indulge, when I have indulged on Lucky Charms, yes, I would eat the oats first and leave the marshmallows and chow down on the marshmallows alone after. Just leave them. I've always been like that. I've always saved the best for last in every meal. So, what about you? I'm afraid to ask.
No, I'm I'm definitely a eat the oats and the marshmallows together kind of guy. I'm like that with everything though. If I take a bite of the steak, I gotta get a bite of mashed potatoes at the same time. If I eat a bite of, if it's always if they're paired things, I gotta get one and the other. Get a bite of my burger, I gotta get a bite of fries.
That's cool. Can't get over the damn comment. God.
We're almost caught up on the. We're almost caught up on the live chat questions. Hey, Roxas, what up, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Nick Smith from Old Average Brit Gaming says, "What? Oh, this is a big one. What would you do to make Space Marines viable as a single faction codex?" So, we talk about this all the time. There's only one way that Space Marines are really being played in tournaments right now, and that is using Space Marines as the seasoning or flavoring, and mostly it's just using a mono battery of an Imperial Guard unit to just generate command points. Yep. Using whatever the biggest knight they can find is, usually the Castellan, sometimes the Valiant. Sometimes they just go 2 regular Imperial Knights, and then the Space Marines are just there for flavoring, so they can say that, no, I brought a Blood Angels army, or I brought an Ultramarines army. Yeah. So, what would we do to make them great again, though? That's a big one.
Honestly, I think give them more wounds, make them harder to kill. Because honestly, I mean, if you look in meta or you look into the books, they're the strongest thing out there in the universe. So that's my thoughts. Yeah, they're still talking about it. Yeah, I see that.
I think there's that the more wounds, and I've seen a lot of people bring that up before. More wounds definitely seems like a way to make that happen for sure.
Yeah.
I've also heard people say scaling up the toughness. I think the scaling up the toughness is actually what I've heard that as a fix to Terminators too. And I think right there, making Terminators good again.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Don't make them so overcosted, making them a little more survivable, I think.
Yeah.
Those are definitely things I think would make Space Marines good again. And of course, they have the most utility because they have the most variety of units. But by themselves, yeah, I mean, as far as what kills stuff, I mean, I'm not sure. I think if you made their vehicles a little more points efficient, then maybe they wouldn't feel the need to make every Space Marine army actually a Night Army hiding as a Space Marine army.
Oh,
So,
good point.
yeah, I think those are the the three major fixes.
Yeah.
Is making Marines a little more survivable, making Terminators actually good again, and then maybe bringing down the price of some of their vehicles. Because I mean, just because Knights kill so much, that's why everybody takes them. So I think in order to make that stop happening, you have to increase how much non-Knight stuff kills.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that is the next. That is the end of that question. Now to the next live question.
Yeah, this is an actually interesting question. Let me go back to it here. Hold on, because I think it's one that will sit well with you. Yeah, Brother Ethan says, "What's your favorite Tau unit?"
I can actually answer this one without salt.
Dead one.
I think I've been all over tonight, so I think I'm actually going to stick with the non-salt version. Oh. But as Brother Roxas was not here earlier, so Brother Roxas asked me to paint up Commander Shadow Sun theme to Roy Folker's Skull Leader from Robotech. And so this has been my homage so far. It's still a work in progress. I do have a decal for the chest to put the skull icon in the middle. And I've done a little sculpting and green stuff work in the middle there to give a nice little surface for the skull and crossbones. But I think she's coming out as a pretty cool homage to the Skull Leader. So currently, just because I'm enjoying painting her, Shadow Sun is my favorite Tau unit. See, no salt necessary. What about yours, freak?
I already said it. A dead one.
How were you salty about that question than me?
Just, yeah. Next.
And then the last one I have was taken from a question given to other people who do Q&As and stuff like that. Edict Beer 40K said that if he did a live Q&A, would anyone go back and watch it if they couldn't make it live? Which I felt was kind of relevant to what we're doing now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. It's just kind of the same thing. I think it also plays to the loyalty of the channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you got people who are loyal to the channel, they're gonna actually like, oh well, darn, I missed it, but I'm gonna go back and watch it. People who are not loyal to the channel, they're not gonna give two flips. They're just gonna, oh, I missed it. Oh well, I'll catch next time, and they won't bother.
Exactly. So if it's something you really want to see, and I think personally, I watch almost all. Actually, I think I watched all of his QA since I started watching. So, yeah, definitely I would. And I've gone back and watched his live stuff archive before, so that I think I would definitely do that.
Okay.
That's our last of the pre-written comments. So if you just want to finish up.
Yeah, definitely. I've got one more from Roxas. How psyched are you for Shadowbringers?
I am so psyched for Shadowbringers because if you've anyone who's played older Final Fantasy games, Gunblade is now going to be a class weapon. I think Gunbreaker is the class name, babe.
Yeah, I believe that's
But anyways, being able to use a gun blade, that's pretty cool. And there's a new tanking class. And the fact that, they're fixing some of my monk stuff. So one of the things that had me really frustrated in this current edition as a monk is that as a melee DPS, you got to be up on the boss, right? And I got to be up there punching stuff. And right now, there's a lot of things that force you to stay away from the boss for a while. And eventually you come back, but by then, the way monk works is the more you hit them and the more continuously you hit them, you get buffs. So, of course, if I'm having to constantly leave the boss, all my buffs keep dropping off. And some of them, the biggest one is called Grease Lightning, and it's up for about 16 seconds. Well, it turns out most of these transitions that the bosses do in this edition that force you to leave or force the boss out of combat for a little while last exactly 16 seconds. So they know what they were doing. They were like, and F the monk. And F the monk. And F the monk.
Wow. I didn't expect to have salt here.
Really specific, like they'll drop a meteor and then they'll do like some big AoE move, and the mechanic is you got to get behind that meteor or whatever. So coincidentally, you got to be behind the meteor for about 16 seconds. Like, so it's just, we're going to drop the meteor and F the monk. Off with wifey for an ice cream run.
Awesome.
Celebrated 22 years of marriage yesterday, and I didn't have a chance to do anything. Have a great night, my man. Enjoy your ice cream with your wonderful wife, and take care, buddy.
Hey, what are you going to do with the ice cream?
Yes, congratulations, indeed.
All right.
So anyway, so they're supposed to make those buffs easier to keep, and they're even upping that buff to another stack. So I'll have 4 stacks of the Grease Lightning buff that helps me do more of the damage. So pretty excited. One of the Let's Players / I guess not really a Let's Player, but one of the main Final Fantasy 14 YouTubers I watch, plays a monk main and actually left monk for a little while because he was unhappy with how things were going with monk, and he got to test play some of the monk over there while they were doing some of their live demos and stuff like that, and said he was happy with how monk feels in this next edition. So I'm pretty excited.
Cool. Well, that's good, man. I don't have an opinion on it because I really don't have much to go by. But here's the second part to his question. Also, if you had to play a Xenos, what would you play?
Have you thought of this one? Have you put any thought in this one while I think about it?
I would say Eldar.
Eldar do seem very cool, and having learned some of it while putting together some of Razzy's army, I think I feel most comfortable with it. And also having played Razzy for I think he played for about a year.
Yeah. So
I faced his Eldar several times there, and I think I was pretty comfortable with the Eldar. Plus, I really love the Inari models, honestly. So when the Gilliman came out and there was the triumvirate for the Primarch's triumvirate, I think the next one, either the next one or the second one after that, it was the last one, the third triumvirate, was all Eldar models, and they looked amazing. And I understand that Ynnari is very specific, to different kind of Eldar. Right. But I think I would go Ynnari just to be able to play and paint those gorgeous models. We got Sergeant Oddballs in the chat.
Hey, welcome to the show, man.
Brother. So yeah, I think that's it for me, Ynnari.
And besides, they also look really good. I'm just saying.
Oh, Eldar do. I was this close to. I did start out of convenience collecting Necrons at one point. So maybe, but I never, even while I was researching them, I never felt like at home with Necrons. I was building them. I was intending to paint them and play them at one point, but it wasn't like when I started AdMech. I was given a free AdMech army, and I started researching it, and I got excited, and I started seeing combos. Like, I can mix this with this, and I can use this in my play style, and I never got that from studying Necrons. Like, when I was given the AdMech army, I didn't like AdMech at first. I was just they were some. I mean, it's not like I hate AdMech. It was just like nothing about them ever interested me. But learning about them and seeing the combos and stuff, I got excited in the research process and the collecting process. Never got that feeling with Necrons. So while I almost played them, I can't really put them on this list. I think working on Eldar for Razzie and having bought a few pieces for Razzie or Darklight, I think that kind of has given me some of that feeling. So I think I'd definitely be most at home with Eldar.
I agree. I totally agree. Honestly, I thought about Necrons too, but I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to put it out there again. No shade on those who play Necrons. You know, of course, one of our biggest somebody that I'm a fan of is Idic Beer, Nick Idic Beer. He's a big Eldar player, but one of the things that I think kind of shied me away, besides the massive ass beating that I got when I played against him on the Necrons, is the fact that to me they were too simple. Not the rules. I think the rules and everything. I think it's considered one of the one of the more advanced armies out there in the Warhammer world or universe, but the paint or color scheme, I think I find that is really almost monochromatic, if that's a good word. Again, I wanted something with a little more challenge and something was gonna be with a little more diversity, and that's why I chose the Imperial Fist with the yellow and the black and the red versus metallic and green. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you don't enjoy painting it, then that's going to be also part of the struggle.
Yeah.
Inquisitor Zane has just joined us. Says, "Hey, I made it. Good to see you, buddy."
Hey, man. Welcome on.
What are what are some of your favorite video games and board games other than Warhammer 40K? So earlier we talked about how my favorites are Dragon Age, Mass Effect, and Final Fantasy series.
Yeah.
And those are my favorites of all time. I'm really hyped about the Final Fantasy VII remake. And then honorable mention, Knights of the Old Republic too.
Yeah,
I think those story-driven customization games where you get to make yourself as the hero and watch yourself progress and become a badass.
Yeah.
Those are it for me.
I do like those. I've lately what I've been playing more of the survival games, kind of like Raft. I got into Rust for a little bit, but I just got tired of getting ganked by some jackass that just could. I barely had doors on my base, and they're already blasting it and killing everybody, and that's no fun. But survival games, things like that, those have been kind of high up on my list. And what board games other than Warhammer 40K?
Well, tabletop, but not quite board game. We've really been enjoying D&D lately, and just RPs in general. Like I know a really great guy named Roxas who's running a Dresden Files game that's pretty awesome. Darklight Dreamer has GM'd several awesome games, such as a homebrew for Star Wars he made up, which I've played a couple of the actual Star Wars roleplay books, and I felt like the homebrew Darklight made was way better. He also did a homebrew for Final Fantasy Tactics, which was amazing. And he's even got one for his own story that he calls Stormfinder. So just really awesome. So just role plays in general. Roxas also did one called Chronicles of the Stars, which is a kind of a homebrew sci-fi one. And that one had a lot of awesome moments. I shared last week the moment where we fought a whole Tyranid style army and we're flying away from the danger and across Tyranids that were like swarming the planet. And as soon as I flew us out to safety, the spore creature that was latched onto his head took over his mind and he shot me in the head. Good times. So that's another one of my favorite RPs. But RPs aside, what board games do I enjoy? Like, why am I having to put this much thought into it? I do not enjoy Risk. So, guys, I don't know why I stress out playing Risk. I don't know why I stress out playing Risk.
Okay, you stressed out playing Risk. I stressed out playing Axis and Allies. It's same concept. I can't do it.
Oh, you don't have to worry about if we already answered anything, Roxas. We're happy to talk about it again.
Absolutely, yeah. And no, we haven't, by the way.
Man. I know I really enjoyed Stratego back in the day. I know I've played other board games. Jesus.
What's that one that Brad has where you put it together every time?
I was just about to mention House on Haunted Hills. Betrayal at House on the Hill or something like that. That one was really good. We played that a couple of times. We even played it once at Acon, and actually, yeah, that one is really interesting. Oh, and Munchkin is another one I really like. Munchkin is super fun, and you never want to be the first one to the end of the game about to win, because what happens is that while you're playing Munchkin and everybody's leveling up, everybody's progressing through the game, everybody's storing the hell out of sabotages. And if you're the first one to make it to the end of the line, I'm about to win. Bam! Everybody throws their sabotages on you at the last second.
Old.
And it is definitely like a prison yard shanking. That's how bad we get ganged up on.
God.
It's horrible, but like really fun. So Munchkin is definitely one. Oh, and Red Dragon Inn. That's another one. Brother Daz, I've talked about him a lot. He's been on the chat several times, and he is the one I based my RJack off of. He and his wife invested in a game called Red Dragon Inn, and it's basically a game where adventurers go to the tavern after adventures, and they have a drinking game. And during this game, you're either collecting treasure, you're drinking some of the drinks there at the tavern, sometimes you're ordering food. But as you're playing this game, like you might draw a card that says "Take 5 drinks," and you're trying to you're trying to maintain balance resources of your coins and your money, and you're gambling with that and how drunk you are. And it affects your gameplay, but it's really fun. I haven't played that with the guys in a while, but those are games I really want to play again.
I'd be interested. Just something that you mentioned, because I really love the D&D series. I would love to play a RPG of Dresden Files.
Well, Roxas said he's going to be picking up the campaign again sometime soon.
I can't. Hey, I'd love to be a part of that. And that leads us to the next question. Roxas put it out there. He says, "I don't know if you've already answered this, but what is your favorite book series?"
I think mine has evolved to the Dresden Files.
I agree,
for sure.
And I hate you for it, and I love you for it, and I hate you for it. I'm already on the second round on this. I'm to reading the entire series. I've already read it through completely, and I really can't wait for Jim Butcher to come out with another book, and adding on to the series. So you take full blame. Roxas takes full responsibility for these actions.
Yeah, no, he's definitely the one who got the group into the Dresden Files. And it is definitely an amazing series. Some other honorable mentions I want to mention is the Alana series by Tamora Pierce, amazing read. The Vlad Tauto series by Stephen Bruce, and the Wheel of Time series. Yes, Jerrig is amazing. Book 1 of the Vlad Tauto series, and of course the whole Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. Those are other honorable mentions that I love. But I think Dresden has pulled into first place for me. The Vlad Tauto series was my favorite for years until I came to the Dresden Files. So, that's a really good question, because I love books, and I have to say my Darklight got me along with my mom. They split up and got me a whole lot of the Wheel of Time books when I was younger. But Robert Jordan has a very drawn out writing style, and so I couldn't quite read it when I was a teenager, just because I kept getting stuck because of the more drawn out parts. But now as an adult, really love that book series.
There's a book series that I'm trying to remember what it was, and I absolutely loved it. I think it was a 3 or 4 part book series wasn't very extensive, but the read was very good. It was around the time when you and I were working together that I was reading it, and I'm trying to find what the name of it is. It's been so long. Um, I don't know if you guys can recall the name if y'all have ever read it, but it basically was a book about a girl who learned to manipulate metals. God, I don't remember the name, but she was able to use different metals in different ways to do certain things, and that allowed her to be able to draw things to her, or push things away, or to even jump from one thing to another. Ted Decker is also another one of my favorite artists. But this one, I don't remember the name of it. I gotta find it, but it was such a good read.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is really really cool, and it's based on an old, like, I don't know what universe. It's definitely an older universe for sure, or like older time.
And then, what kind of 40K channel would we be if we did talk about how awesome the Horse Heresy is? Really good, and I really love the Ragnar Blackmane trilogy. Well, now it's a 6-piece. I've only read 4 pieces of it. But yeah, the Ragnar Blackmane series also very good, and I really enjoyed, of course, the Ultramarines Omnibus kind of got me into reading about Warhammer. So, which was also loaned to me by Brother Roxas there.
Nice.
Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, who finished the Wheel of Time series for Robert Jordan. So I'm going to have to check that out.
That is exactly right. Thank you, Nina. That's it. It's Mistborn. Gosh, that is oh my God. It is if it's written very similar to it's a similar style to Jim Butcher's. So that's what really drew me to that genre. But yes, thank you, Nina. That's such a great book.
Well, if he writes anything like he writes for the Wheel of Time, I'm already sold. I'm checking it out.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, it hasn't been a while since we read this. Yeah, it's such a good series, man. And it's kind of in a fantasy too. I love that. It's oh man, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. It's just a good book.
That's cool. All right. Well, I think that is the end of a very full Q&A. That was nice.
This was actually a successful Q&A. I didn't. I thought we were going to run out of questions really, really fast. I'm glad we had, the back and forth between the live and the,
Yeah,
the
was
submitted.
there was not a whole lot of audience participation. Yeah. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, man. That was like a lot of fun.
But that, again, it's our favorite part of doing these live streams is, the hanging out with you all, is definitely the interaction is the reason why we keep doing this, is because it's always really good conversation.
I'm sorry, Quizzers. It happens all the time. We've got somebody like, wait, I just got here. I just woke up. It's over? I'm sorry.
Oh.
Okay, we'll let you go.
I was about to say, well, toss us a question, Zane. Keep us talking.
But something else that I was actually considering, and I haven't even talked about this. One of my hobby goals that I'll be trying to push is that I need to start recording again. I haven't done that in a while. Recording music. So I need to put out some more music. Something that I've asked for my birthday. My birthday's coming up on June 18th, and one of the things that I'm asking for that I actually helped work on for a friend of mine who has a Telecaster or a Telecaster remake, and he wound up changing out his pickups. So just to kind of bring it down to earth, So the stock pickups that pick up the sound, they're these magnetic that pick up magnetic tones from the strings, right? That's what creates the sound. Well, the stock pickups for the guitar, right? We removed those, and I soldered on the new ones that he bought, and these were like high quality, just incredible shielded, perfectly sounding pickups, and oh my god, the difference it made. So the guitar I have, it's a Fender. It's made by Fender, but it doesn't have the classic Fender pickups. It's got like a knockoff, if you will, and I want to get rid of those. And I'm asking for, and I think I'm gonna get them, but it's the true Fender classic 50s, 50s and 60s vintage pickups that will go on the Strat, and oh man, it's going to give it a nice warm sound to it. Which, man, recording music on that thing will be, it's going to be divine. So, Inquisitor Zane finally put in a question.
Sweet.
Which looks coolest in the style of their demons and stuff? I guess.
Which Chaos God?
Favorite Chaos God.
Oh, and this was also a question above that is a question that Thomas asked earlier, and we forgot to go back and grab that one.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry, Brother Thomas.
Is it what AOS armies would you build?
Yeah, we'll come back to that after Zane's.
Yeah. So what do you think, Methos?
I don't know. So like off the bat, I partially want to answer Korn because they're big hulking bloodthirsters with their like quadra-headed axes and stuff like that, and they just look very cool. Very. When you think of demons versus angels, that's kind of what you think of, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, though, the new Slanesh demons and stuff coming out look amazing.
Those look really cool.
Although, thinking of how the Emperor's Children turned out, I don't really want to be like rolling in feces and stuff like that. So.
Hey, you always try something new.
No, that is not something new we are trying. Or at least I'm not trying. This is not going to become a thing. It's not going to be like, hey, remember that one time? No, this is not going to be a thing. So that being thought of, and being that I read Fulgrim, I'm just going to go for Korn there.
There you go. I like the Noise Marines, so I would have to say, whoever the god of that is, I don't know. I don't follow Chaos.
We're back to Slanesh. You're good.
There you go. I'm good with that.
Hey, that brings me to another one of your New Year's things, is getting more into the lore of 40K. So we're going to have to switch you back to some 40K, 30K books at some point.
Yeah, I know. Gotta put that into the queue.
It's a trick question. He has proved his loyalty by not knowing. Oh no, I fell for it.
You're a heretic. You are a heretic.
Brother, you know what you have to do. I have to be purged.
Right?
You must do this for the Emperor, brother.
Oh, wait, what the hell? No, man, I'm holding a beer. You wait till I'm done. Jeez. All right, I'm going to move on to Brother Thomas's.
Brother Thomas's, what AOS armies would you build? All right. Have you put any thought into that? Do you want me to go ahead and answer?
I don't know a whole lot about it. I did look it up at one point, and it was something about wood elves or elves. But that's about it. That's all I knew. I don't know anything else.
I think you were interested in the Stormcast at one point.
Yeah, that's it.
Ta-da. I think I'm not sure if that was like, genuine interest you would want to build them or play them, or that you were just admonishing Brother Rob's work.
Rob just does some crazy job. I mean, beautiful stuff.
Yeah, Brother Rob, if you go check out the miniatures paintbrush, Brother Rob over at the TMP has some amazing Stormcast Eternals. I myself, so I really, first and foremost, I want a Marathi. I keep up on my shelf here displayed the White Dwarf where Marathi was first, first appeared there, because I think Marathi is such a cool and gorgeous model. And so I would like to build a Daughters of Cain army at one point, but also I've had stuck in my Sigmarines. Yes, that has been lodged in my head lately. Is just thinking about how cool and how much it would change the aesthetic if you took Grey Knight helmets and put them on. Because the main thing I don't like about Stormcast is the mask that they wear. Right, their helmet looks like a mouth, like a face cast in a eternal screen, kind of like some of the ancient Egyptian golden masks. And it looks, I don't know, it looks weird to me. But I was like, if you put a Grey Knight's helmet on them, that really changes the aesthetic to a whole kind of like noble knights in shining armor kind of deal. And I think I'd like to paint that. So yeah, I want to do Daughters of Cain, but I also want to do Sigmarines.
Damn.
I'm like, you know what? If no one in my area ever plays, I could still do both armies, and then I could just have people come over and play one of my armies.
Very nice.
But being that I have so much 40K stuff to paint right now, both of those are forever projects at some point.
Roxas says, Garrett says you should just do Grey Knights.
Garrett says I should just do Grey Knights. I've considered they were my second choice after Space Wolves, but the Thunderwolf Cavalry definitely decided that. Which apparently Grey Knights are really hard to play. So I'm very glad I chose Space Wolves because I freaking love them and have totally embraced everything Fenrisian about them, including the fact that we're sometimes a-holes. When I'm reading other people's books and they're like, man, look at this stuff the Space Wolves did. I'm like, yeah, we're kind of a-holes, but yeah, that's us.
Right. That's a thing.
But yeah, so I'm really glad I picked them. And apparently, Grey Knights definitely are a higher skill cap army to play. So I was already frustrated coming in, trying to learn to use Space Wolves against some of the armies that are very unfriendly to Malay armies.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine having come in trying to learn Grey Knights. Brother Thomas says the Grey Nopes. I love Grey Knights though. Like their aesthetic is one of my favorites. Some of their lore is pretty awesome. Except for the part where they sometimes, slaughter civilians because somebody saw them. In general, though, I like Grey Knights a lot. I just happen to like Space Wolves more. And the whole, butchering civilians thing.
Right. Yeah.
Which, by the way, in one of the books, and I'm not going to say it just in case anybody hasn't read it yet, but in one of the books that I'm reading, when they do one of their purgings, has our wolves. I will never forgive them for the Sisters of Battle thing. I need to find out about that. But yeah, so during one of the battles where the Space Wolves did a purging on one of the planets, I was really shocked to read them slaughtering, the civilians too. I mean, but when I went back and read the explanation, it's like, unfortunately, this is a whole culture of people who have opened themselves to the warp. So even civilians aren't innocent in this case. And I'm like, I guess, but
crossed the line, man.
Yeah. The points are bad for them. I had a all paladin army for fun with some dread knights. I thought it set them apart from my other armies. Now I can only field a few squads due to the points. Man, that sucks. Yeah, whenever I'm watching battle reports, I'm always amazed at how little the Grey Knight players are taking. I'd look at their field. I'm like, wow, they're taking like 3 guys against the whole army. They killed a bunch of Sisters of Battle to make them immune to a demon's influence. But that's not cool.
Let's reject that.
That's not cool. Maybe I don't like Grey Knights. I'm really looking forward to Sisters of Battle in the future. Really looking forward to that. All right.
I'm tapped, my brother.
I am tapped as well. 9 minutes. Is there anything you think you could talk about for 9 minutes just to give it a well-rounded number?
God, you're so OCD.
So this is how far this guy's come in just the stream. When I started tonight, he was just primer black. Actually, I did a little priming too, because where I did the green stuff for the head, I went ahead and put some black primer in there.
Nice.
Some of the brush on Vallejo. It's hard to see it in this light, but I did some of the highlights there for the chest and leg areas in the front, so that way it's not all just flat black. I did the base coats down for my cloak, so I can go back later on with the airbrush and add in some of the coloring for the pelt, where there'll be some brown overlaid on some specific areas of the gray. So that way it's not just a one-tone cloak. I went back and laid down some flesh tones, so that way I can put down some Agrax Earthshade and tan up that leather underneath the fur parts there. And of course, and I don't know if the light's going to catch well, but I'm actually liking how the Logan Grimnar's, kind of lava-looking axe is coming out.
Nice.
You turn it one way, it's mostly red, and you turn it the other way, and you get some of the yellows and orange kind of coming through.
Very nice. So while we're doing this, I'll showcase this real quick. This is something that one of the pieces that I actually, like I said, the underside of the car that I'm working on. So let me share that. Right. So this is the rear differential. It's just a part of it. So there you go. Yeah, that's actually turned out to be look better than what I expected.
Yeah, that is definitely very metallic looking, good worn metal effect.
Yep. I mean, it just looks like I should have oil leaking around the seal there, but yeah, it turned out pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Like I said, I'm really excited to see refreshing your excitement for the hobby.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked.
So, Brother Ethan says, I got a topic for 9 minutes. Black Mage, great class or greatest class?
Oh, God.
It is a great class. I'm not sure greatest class, because we all know the Wolf Brother likes to punch things in the face. But it is a great class. I do love me some explosions. Brother Roxas says, favorite things about Warhammer 40K?
Oh, that's a good question. You want me to answer?
Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
Favorite things about Warhammer 40K is community. I love the community. I love the hobby. It's a lot of fun, and get to do stuff like this. I would have never really got to meet half the people that I've known. Good solid people in the Warhammer community. I'm talking about our local, friends that Methos have introduced me to from our local gaming store. So things like that. People like Roxas.
Definitely my favorite part too.
Yeah, I know. People like Roxas and Ethan who are on on the chat, and a whole bunch of them too that I haven't seen in a while and kind of miss. So
And I have a lot of good memories of being at the old store
yeah,
before it moved over, and all the tables were squashed together. So it really kind of forced the close quarters. I don't know. It forced a closer hanging out experience, I think.
it was more intimate. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. And I really enjoyed that, and just all of us hanging out, getting in some Warhammer, but also just some general hangout. Also, I played, Roxas and Roxas did a couple of where what was it called? Where you buy a box of cards and everybody picks a couple of packs and you make a deck out of it. Anyways, we've played a lot of really good games there, and the draft, that's what it's called. Yeah, we did some drafts there. We played some games of Magic. Actually playing Magic there, and me and Daz taking each other out like first in a giant like 12-man game is one of the part of how I got to 40K. So there's a lot of good stuff there. So community and just the hanging out together aspect, definitely. The fact that the community's been so welcoming, and it's always lots of encouragement. I was afraid that if I showed anyone my work, they'd be like, "Man, you paid like shit." But no, everybody's always encouraging. Sometimes people are like, "Hey, have you tried to wash on that?" Or, "Hey, have you done this?" Sometimes there's fixes, but often, people are just like, they do a lot of the good and the bad. Hey, this is what you did really well, but man, this is what you might want to look forward to next time.
Yep.
So everybody's been very welcoming in the hobby. Everybody's been just made an amazing experience. Also, I think the fact that it gave me a way to express myself artistically, because I didn't think I had an artistic bone in my body, to be honest with you. Never been good at music. I mean, I played rhythm guitar in a band once, but I've never really been good with music. I've never been able to draw stick figures, and so I did okay writing, but it was just like, man, my mom she has amazing drawing talent. My brother sings and plays the piano, can do both at once, and I'm just like, wow, my family's got some great artistic talent. I'm like, where's mine? But this game actually brought out some of the artist in me. So I think there's that whole creative streak. It feeds my creative stuff. And honestly, I feel a lot of benefits from doing the hobby too. When I'm not gaming, I think just in general, painting, showing off my work, getting a little sense of even the little bits of community when we're just like, hey, let me post this up. Hey guys, what do you think about I painted this up? Or what would you add to this? I think a lot of that is just it's eased. It's very stress relieving, tell people all the time, hobby is therapy. And well, thank you, Brother Thomas. He says I'm a great painter. I'm chasing this guy. That's what I'm doing. I want to grow up to be like Freak one day. And I don't know. It just it's like I said, it's therapy. I do have some rage moments, like when I called you up and I'm like, guess what, Freak? Guess who effed up another face? I'm like, you know what? Just take my hands. Take both of them. Sometimes there are certain things that set me off in the hobby.
Like washes being spilt all over the...
Washes being spilled everywhere. Where the hell is Brand Red Maw? Every side wing.
I hate Tao. Yeah.
So there is some things that upset me in the hobby. Winter Loyalist going to get a second Primarch. Anyways, there are things that upset me in the hobby, but
Methos
overall, it actually has a really good effect on me. Like, I remember when we first Tiffany bought me my first Space Wolves, she gave me the permission to buy my first Rewinds to Methos. I just don't deserve gear. Sometimes when we're raiding guys, I feel like if I didn't contribute enough to the fight, I won't roll on gear. And everybody jumps on me about that, but it's like, hey, if I don't live for X amount of time in the fight, I'm not rolling. I don't deserve gear this time.
Wow, you really fall on your sword, don't you?
No, it's just, I feel like if as our raid master drives Roxas crazy, I feel like I should be working for it. I can't just be given free gear or mounts. If I didn't contribute, I don't deserve it.
You contribute more than you know. It doesn't just drive rocks crazy.
Also, it drives my lovely Lily crazy. Hi, baby. But yeah, but when I bought my first box of models, somebody, I can't remember, somebody in our group said to me just like, hey, let me know how building the tiny pieces go. I heard sometimes you clip something and parts fly everywhere and it pisses a lot of people off. And I think some of my friends thought that this was going to be rage inducing for me. But actually, I felt a certain zen working with my first box. Now, in general, I don't have the patience for building as much as I do painting. But yeah, just the process in general, again, more painting than building, definitely, I guess because I'm stoked seeing the progress, right? Yeah. Gives you that look what I built feeling and that creative outlet, look what I painted, look what I created. All that is just very, very cool for me. Anyways, I really rambled there, but yeah, I enjoy the build or the whole like hobby aspect, the getting together, the community. I enjoy all of it. And admittedly, I'm on break. Hello again. Welcome back, Darklight. And admittedly, when you get some good hits in, you kill something on the battlefield, there is an exciting part to the game aspect too. Mm-hmm. I mean, I talk a lot about the creative stuff, but let's admit it, we all want to win it at some point, right? We all definitely want to win at some point. So when you kill something, like I don't even have to win the whole game. Okay, so this is my problem with the Tau. Oh, God. So sometimes people get it twisted and say that Methos doesn't like to lose. It's not that Methos doesn't like to lose. Methos doesn't like to feel powerless. And so my problem is that when I lose against the Tau, it's usually like a landslide victory that left me feeling powerless, a very impotent feeling. Literally, I had one game with Cloud where literally, and I'm saying literally a lot, I literally am saying it a lot. It took me more time to pull my models out of the box and set them up on the battlefield than to play the game. And I think that is just the moment that really ruined Tau for me. But yeah, when things are going like well, when it's a good back and forth exchange, and I sometimes have some great knockdown, drag out slobber knockers where we remove like everything on both sides of the field, or some of my games with Atlas have been that way, or some of my games with Lars for sure. We're about to wrap up anyways. Have a great night,
Take care, bud.
Brother Thomas. But yeah, so I mean, just those matches that are very close and you're like on the edge of your seat, like every dice roll matters.
Yep.
Rock just says Cloud Y. yeah. So those ones that are really close, that gives me a real rush and thrill that made all, it just makes it all worthwhile. So the battle aspect too is something I really enjoy. What's wrong with corn? Or let's see. Quizzer Zane's bringing a list to the starter game to get people in the hobby, which was pushed back this weekend. It's been such a pain trying to get anything in 1,000 points. Like you're having trouble getting something up to 1,000 points, or you're having trouble, like you have too much or too little. Would you rather fight a Space Wolf in Terminator armor or a Grey Knight in power armor? It's basically death either way, but still. I would rather go out to a fellow Space Wolf. I could feel like I'd more feel where he's coming from. Maybe on my, before he delivers the last blow, I could tell him to have a drink for me. Rage leads to blood. All blood flows to the blood god. Therefore, you're a heretic, or a heretic to be. I'll make sure on notifications to help monitor the situation.
There you go. Heretic in the making.
All right, guys. It is midnight now. I think we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Brother, do you have anything you want to say before we call it a night? Any last thoughts or closing thoughts?
Man, I had an absolute blast. This was probably one of the most fun streams that I've done in a while. So really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the interaction. the guys got to get to know a little bit about us, and we get to know a little bit about them because they're putting out a lot of their info too as well.
Oh, right. So when I was asking about the 1,000-point game, yeah, trying to make anything fit into a 1,000-point list. Jeez, yeah, I can only imagine. It's probably taking a total of like 4 guys.
Jeez.
Nina Chick says, "Good night. This was great. I really enjoyed having you here. I think this is one of the first times I remember you being here for the whole show. So thank you so much for joining.
That's right. It was the whole thing. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Hey,
who
Nina,
dropped
maybe
us
we can get on.
questions.
Maybe we can get on a game later on. By the way, this is just kind of after because we'll probably wind up playing the new game we just got.
Huh?
We were talking about video games, so might see. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anyway, Nina, see if we can get on to the Isle game later on.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Special thanks to everyone who dropped us a question, was here for the stream, or even if you're back watching in the archives. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Guys, if you liked tonight's Q&A or our live stream in general, or just hanging out on a Friday night, which is our favorite part of Friday night is hanging out with you guys,
Yeah, it is.
then grab up an axe and smash that like button
Eat it, yeah.
in the name of the Emperor. And of course, if you're watching the archives, feel free to drop us a comment down below and join in on any of the conversations we've had tonight. And if you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, then Fricalicioso
This guy.
and I
That
would
guy.
love to have you as part of the pack here on the Frost and Fist. Until next time, guys. Stay frosty.